Alright guys, so let's get going, and let's well, we need to well, first of all, yeah, it's on Wednesday, you got me. And it's from 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. So this Wednesday, just to be ready for that, and it's gonna be as tough as the previous one, so you are going to get it, everyone. Alright guys, so now let's get to the today's topic, which is 7.0, Hypervisor 7.0 and vCenter 7.0, because the 6.7, 6.5 are expiring. This you still have a lot of time before 6.7 expires, and you got full 3 days, right, before 6.7 expires now. So anyone wants to start preparing now can. You still have 3 days, right? Okay, don't try that. So let's go talk about this 7.0, and well, there's no big difference. So all the major features are still there, the same, and so all are. Oh, am I talking? Oh yeah, I'm talking. So everyone can hear me? Everyone can hear me? Anyone can hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, okay, there you go. So Mahinur, N-O-U-R, please shoot your audio. Oh, what am I talking then? Oh, okay, I type here. So I'll just type there. Everyone else can hear me. Oh man, all others can hear me. Alright guys, so in order to start the installation of Hypervisor 7.0, so and it's going to be the VCSA version, it's going to be the Linux version, and we needed to know still that what was the how do we deploy the Linux version of that. Okay, so there's a comment there by Jiang, where can I download your Azure course? Okay, Jiang, so this is VMware class. You can ask that in WhatsApp, right? So I'll tell you in WhatsApp where it's the LMS, guys. It's a learning management system. Everyone's invited there, and you could just join the Azure course. You just have to say on WhatsApp that, hey, can I join your Azure course? And I'll just give you access to that. Maybe you already have joined it, or if not, then just let me know and I'll send you the link. You can communicate on WhatsApp for that. Alright, so let us go ahead. What we need to do today is I'm just going to create that diagram, and we'll just one node. So what's the plan and how do we deploy the 7.0 version? And not only that, we need to deploy that, but also we need to understand what's going on. So our lab till now is looking like these, and we've been adding things as well. So Ramanjot Kaur in the chat says, will today's class be included in final quiz? Oh yes, that's why I asked that. Please, let's put that class, and I'll try to cover as much as possible today, which is equal to 4 or 5 classes. So the exam could be as brutal as possible, right? The brutaler, the better. So I'll try to add as many topics today, so I could add it all in the exam, right? Okay, so Orang says, which quiz? Well, this quiz is happening on Wednesday, right? So it's already on the OneNote. So that is Wednesday. So Wednesday is the day after tomorrow, right? So Wednesday 30th, you will automatically have a quiz popping up there on the Blackboard at 8 p.m. So you all need to connect at 8 p.m. the day after tomorrow for the quiz. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get going, guys. So what we were talking about was so we already have this environment, and we have had quiz equals. Okay, there's another question by Jiang. Quiz equals final exam. Yeah, it's the final quiz is actually final exam. So final exam slash quiz. Okay, yeah, and just it's like midterm, right? Midterm quiz. All right, so let's still try to get going, and so what we had was till now was a Windows-based vCenter. So it's Windows-based vCenter, and the now in 7.0 obviously there is no Windows-based vCenter even in 6.7. So it's just Linux-based vCenter, right? So you need to know how to deploy the Linux-based vCenter, but once you log inside, so the good news is that there is no Flash-based web client there. So it's going to be just HTML-based. And the third thing is, yes, DRS are the same. Everything else is the same. Distribute switch, standard switch, and cluster, data center, cluster, and DRS, and high availability, and fault tolerance, and all those features. But what are the differences? So major features are exactly the same still, which is a good thing. But what are the differences? We're going to talk about those differences today, and we're going to try to go inside the Linux-based vCenter. How does it look like? How can we log in? Is it different from the Windows-based? So you will see all that it's not that different, and you'll be okay with this exam. So and yes, this 7.0 based, purely 7.0 based course will be starting with another college next Saturday evening, I guess, or the Saturday evening after that. So if anyone reminds me, I'll just add you to the videos of those as well, where I'm just going to purely do start from the 7.0, because we have no other choice. We can't go for 6.7 or 6.5 anymore. So I'll have to go for 7.0. Now, okay guys, here we were talking about Windows vCenter 6.7, 6.5, and so you first of all, Windows-based vCenter is installed on top of what? Well, Windows operating system, obviously. That's why it's called Windows-based vCenter. But when we deploy a Linux-based vCenter, so how do we deploy that? Linux-based vCenter, Linux-based vCenter is called VCSA. And what does that mean? So it's vCenter Server Appliance. vCenter Server Appliance, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is that when we talk about server appliance, what is server appliance, or what is appliance? Appliance is just a virtual machine. So this means that the virtual machine, we will be attaching the ISO of this vCenter, Linux-based vCenter. We're going to be attaching this ISO to the CD DVD of the server 2, or actually, you know what, it's not going to be server 2 as well. I'll explain that. So we're going to be attaching it to some operating system for where we can launch. And once we attach the ISO on any Windows-based or GUI-based operating system, so we will then launch it over the network, the vCenter deployment of Linux-based vCenter, or VCSA. Because it is an appliance means it's a virtual machine. So we're going to be deploying over the network a virtual machine, and that virtual machine will get created either on a LAN here or on a local disk here, because we haven't created the whole environment for that, or we use our current environments. We'll try to. So the thing is that this is the virtual machine that's going to get created over the network when you deploy the VCS or vCenter, and its virtual disk can be either whichever storage is available. That is not the main concern. The main concern is that how does it look like? How different is the vCenter in terms of deployment? How different it is from the Windows-based vCenter when we log in inside, and how many features new features are there, right? So we need to check all that. And so what we need to do is we're going to connect ISO to the server 1. We're going to launch the installation from there over the network to any of the hypervisor. The vCenter will be deployed as a virtual machine on top of a hypervisor. So that would be the vCss 7.0. So that 7.0 will deploy as a VM. So for its own, the vCenter's own running, it totally depends on the correct running of the ESXi hypervisor 1 or 2, or whichever hypervisor you deploy this virtual machine. It's a virtual machine from which you are going to be controlling the whole environment. This hypervisor will be controlled centrally from this virtual machine, while this virtual machine is living on top of this hypervisor's RAM. This virtual machine software called the vCenter server appliance, or the vCenter, will centrally manage this hypervisor. It will centrally manage this hypervisor and its storage and its networking and its virtual machines. And suppose you had all the other hypervisors. So just like, you know, the vCenter controls everything centrally. So this virtual machine will have that Linux-based vCenter, and it will control. But it's going to be appearing as a virtual machine. It's going to be deployed as a virtual machine. So we can, so SAF says migration, not new installation. So it's going to be a new installation for us. And we have done so many experimentation there that we have, it's going to be all errors and lots of errors. So that's why migration, we won't be doing migration. We're going to be doing actually a new installation. And the alternative says, do we shut down server 2 to increase hypervisor RAM? Yes, we do not need server 2. So I was about to mention that as well. So shut down server 2. We do not need server 2. And what we need, I'm going to be telling that, but I'm coming there. So shut down server 2. Okay. So what we would need is that we're going to deploy the VCSA, which is vCenter server appliance, or which is just Linux-based vCenter. So we're going to deploy it from some GUI over the network as a virtual machine on top of hypervisor 1 or 2, whichever. Now our current hypervisors are also 6.7, right? So 6.5, sorry. So our current hypervisors are also 6.5. So we will then go for 7.0 here as well. So we need a hypervisor that is 7.0, and on top of which we're going to be deploying from either Windows desktop, or if you have Linux GUI desktop, then you can just deploy it from there as well, the VCSA, right? So first thing, we needed to clarify that yes, we don't need Windows-based or the server 2 at all. So just shut it down, or if you want to delete that, go ahead and delete that as well. If you want to practice on it still after the course, then keep it. Better deploy the whole environment again, just for the job purpose as well. And second thing is that we're going to go to server 1, and we're going to deploy that Linux-based vCenter on top of hypervisor 1 or 2, whichever. We're going to go for 1 for no particular reason. And so this means that we would need all the CPU and RAM. So we're going to shut down ESXi2 as well. Shut down ESXi02. We don't need that. ESXi3, we already don't need that. So now, in order to have a clear or uninterrupted experience without error experience if you want, my suggestion is, because it's going to, really need to see inside, right? If there are errors coming in our limited 4 hour time, so we're not going to be then even be able to see that how does it look like, how does it successfully install, what are the stages of the installation, and how does it look like from inside, and what other options are there. So we need a successful installation. For that, what we can do is, so now the rest of the plan, first of all, we understand we're going to deploy this over the network as a virtual machine. So Linux-based vCenter is deployed as a virtual machine, as a appliance. Appliance is what? An operating system plus an application installed inside. So our virtual machine that has an operating system and an application inside, that is called appliance, right? So second thing is that obviously if we are deploying it as a virtual machine, so the vCenter has its CPU and RAM requirements as well. So definitely we need to increase the RAM of E6i1 now, and to have that prerequisites met for vCenter 7.0. So what are the prerequisites of 7.0? How big the disk should be? So there are some sites there that also show that. So I'm just gonna share those sites as well, where you get a lot of information. There are some resources which are really interesting for the vCenter, and I'll just put that on the WhatsApp as well as this. Okay, so there are 2 websites there. Now those websites do tell us about, in fact I'll just go there, and there is VCP7-DCV. Now this is obviously not a Vmware website, official website, but this is some guy who is maintaining, actually an expert, and Vladlan here .fr VCP7-DCV. So this guy is an expert in VMware, and regularly he updates all the latest versions and features. In future also you will find this guy's website and updates for VMware, very useful, to the point. VMware has its own documentation obviously, but that's like a very long documentation. You want some to the point data there, documentation there. So this is one of the best sites. There are many other very good sites as well. This is just one of those very good sites. So that's one thing. Now if I go for then the other site here, so this is, so this is the other site, and that is updated vCenter, vMware. So yeah, these are all the features that this guy is talking about, and we obviously need to know all the new features while we will be deploying the vCenter as well. So these are the 2. Then there are, I'm just going to go for prerequisites of vCenter 7 deployment. So if I just type that, there is VMware Arena. That's another site which just shows you step by step. I'm just going to share that site as well. And then there is docs.vmware.com. There's documentation there for that too. So sometimes we really need a to the point documentation there. So the prerequisites that we needed to talk about, I'm just going to share this site quickly as well. So how to install vCss 7.7. Okay, I'll just put that, and so not many people for today's marks are interested. Okay, not interested, then not interested, it's okay. So it's the last day. What he's gonna talk? Hey, we're doing a lab, so you're gonna lose marks for today. But if you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna pass, it's not about pass, it's about your job, right? So you want to really learn. So those who are missing the class, it's for the job. Think of the job, not for just some marks. Okay, so this is another site that also tells us a lot of differences here. So what is required here for 7 First of all, the operating system is Photon OS 3.0. Second thing is the vSphere authentication services are available, which is the authentication services are always available in vCenter. PostgreSQL or the internal SQL server will be installed, and then Lifecycle Manager. We haven't heard of that before, so we're going to talk about that as what is this Lifecycle Manager. And you need to have DNS, and obviously that we have already in our data center, our domain controller, the first machine. I'm just going down a little to discuss a little more, and then I'm gonna explain the map that what we need to do. Basically, the installation screenshots even this guy has given. So we're gonna go through all these stages, and so we're gonna be very careful in that. Now, what we're gonna do is a tiny installation. So when I say tiny, what does that mean? Tiny installation? Are you kidding me? What's tiny? So I'll just it's Chrome, right? Okay. Oh, that was hiding it. So I just wanted to make it bigger a little so we could just check it out. Oh. So when we're talking about okay, so I wanted to show this. We're gonna go for tiny installation, and tiny installation needs minimum 2 vCPUs and 12 GB memory minimum. Ouch. So and then storage is 415 GB, 400 GB disk basically, and hosts up to it can support how many hosts? We have 2 hosts, right? E6i1, E6i2, but it can support up to 10 hosts and VMs up to 100 GB. So the storage minimum resources required for different deployment sizes. So tiny is what we can deploy, and 2 vCPUs, yes, we have it, but we need to give our hypervisor at least minimum 12 GB RAM. It will detect that 12 GB RAM, and then it can go ahead. If it doesn't detect that, so it won't go ahead. So I'm going to tell you how to then divide the RAM, and then storage is actually it needs to detect 400 GB disk there. So we need to arrange that as well. This is the deployment prerequisites that I was mentioning. Now I'll just copy image and put it there on our OneNote. So prereqs for vCenter 7. Wow, that's a small picture. Really? Oh, okay. I need to click another. So yes, so it should be upgraded on your side as well within few seconds. So this is what we need. Now let's go back to our plan here. So we're going to be discussing all those different features of 7.0 while the installation goes on. You know that vCenter takes time. So what is our plan? Our plan is hopefully we have shut down server 2. Hopefully we have shut down ESXi2 as well. Now server 1 RAM can be 2 GB, right? So 2 GB RAM here, and that's just a launching point of the vCenter, VCSA or Linux based vCenter. So I think everyone has already 2 GB, or even if somebody has put it 1 GB, it still works. It just screams and cries a lot, but it works. And second thing is the Hypervisor Ram. That's where we need to check out that what we can do with total 16 GB RAM. What can we do, right? So we can give it exactly 12 GB, or if you want to give 14 and the 2 is there, so that will be 16 already. You will reach the limit. So yeah, it's 13, 14, 15. Okay, 1 GB left for the underlying hosts. That's not good. Let's go for 12 GB for E6i1. And those who have more RAM, yes, you can give as much RAM as possible. Maybe 16, maybe even 24 GB RAM if you have 32 GB RAM total. So guys, I'm just saying again and again, try to upgrade the RAM of your laptops, or get that kind of laptop or desktop that has 32 GB RAM. or even better, 64 GB RAM. Okay, so anyway, this is going to be 12 GB RAM, and do we have here the disk, 400 GB disk, right? We need to have a 400 GB disk here. Now, the question would be that don't we already have 3 disks here? So we need to check the size of these as well. These ones, or logical unit numbers, or software SAN that we had, was it 400 GB? Was it 300 GB? So if it was 300 GB, then we need to create an extra disk on this hypervisor after shutting it down temporarily, E6i1. We're going to permanently shut down server 2 and E6i2. We're going to temporarily shut down E6i1 just to make changes in the configuration, right? So it would be, it has to be at least 400 GB, so we can even give 500 because it's thin provision, so it's not going to take a lot of size there. Not much it's going to take the size, but we can give here 500 GB local disk if in case our SAN disk is not available. So we can deploy it locally, which is not best practice obviously, but we do know how to deploy SAN already. You can refer to that video when you're repeating all the apps. The main priority today is that we could successfully deploy the vCenter 7 and explore the features inside. So 500 GB RAM, hard disk here, NSXi2 required, and changing the RAM to 12 GB. So 2 things we need to do here. 2 vCPUs it's already there in 6i1, but we need to temporarily shut down the 6i1 and just change the RAM to 12 GB on the 6i1 and 500. So 2 systems we need powered on ultimately. One is server 1, 2 GB RAM, and the other one is E6i1. These are the only 2 systems we need today. So I'll just make a big red sign here for this guy as well, right? Because of our limited hardware resources, that's why we cannot. So Jiang says the guy did not respond even I called him twice. Oh, okay. Oh, that when you wanted to upgrade RAM. Okay. So Xiang, again, I would say just WhatsApp me this message, and I'm gonna send your message to him that hey, why are you not responding? Anyway, Destin says hello AMI. AMI is Amazon Machine Image in AWS, right? But Amir, okay. Please, I'm feeling good currently. I would like left course and oh, you are not feeling good. This means, and I will send you. Sure, okay. Sure, Destin. I hope you get well soon, right? And take rest. You're welcome. Okay, guys, so let's get going. But guys, this is very important for you. It's for the job that it is so critical that we understand that, right? So do follow the video as well. If those who are not attending, for marks, yeah, you're gonna get the marks. It's not about the marks, it's about the job, right? Marks don't get you the job. Understanding it and repeating the labs get you the job, right? So ultimately you're here to learn to get a job, right? In this tough market. When you're going for the interview for a job, let me know. I'll send you the interview questions as well, and try to go for all the other cloud courses as well. Try to follow all the videos and get the job. Office 365 is a must-have. I just got a contract of Office 365 and they're paying well. It's just that you need to have all the knowledge, and I mentioned all those must-do courses at the start of the course as well, this course as well. Okay, anyway, and you need any sources of those courses, let me know. I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, okay, so sure, I will let you know Office 365 and we're launching, and yes, especially we're going to concentrate on Microsoft Intune, the MDM, mobile device management. How do you control mobile devices, right? So you really need to learn that. But let's go for 7.0 now. Okay, so the steps. Step number 1, keep the server 1 up, right? And step number 2, so step number 1 would be, okay, lab. So let's go for keep server 01 up and running. And second step is that okay, so second step is permanently shut down server 02 and ESXi02. Well, today is the last day, so obviously it's going to be permanent shutdown. And third thing is temporarily shut down ESXi01, and then let's change what? So let's change RAM to 12 GB and add a new disk, 500 GB, thin provisioned, obviously thin provisioned. Thin provision means it's not going to take size on your physical disk. And add a new disk, 500 GB thin provisioned, and then okay, let's then do that. First of all, once we're done, then power it on back. So once done, then power it back on, right? All right, so let us go ahead and do this. So I'm just gonna go for what? Oh, I'll connect to my machine here, and so you know what? Before I start the class and in the morning, there was actually Office 5 going on in some other college. It's nearly ending now. So after that, I tried to install the whole thing again, and it installed well. So I just wanted to check that no surprises. So now I'll just start my server 1. Oops. Okay, that's you know, at the end we're gonna see that. So not now. So that's too soon. I'll close that. Ignore. Oops. The whole successful installation. Oops. Okay. That's the second oops. So I'll just close everything because we need to do it together now. Okay. So server 1 is up. My ESXi1 is already down. Right. My server 2 is already down. And I'm not gonna start that. You can just might as well delete that as well. ESXi2 also, we don't need that, right? So I'm going to go for ESXi1 only, and there it's already actually down and it's 4 GB, right? So ESXi1, I'm going to change that to 12 G and B, 12416. Yeah, that's kind of good. 12416. And that's the RAM here. You can just directly type here 12416 as well. And then processor here is and then processor is already okay, but I need another disk. In fact, we have 2 disks here, but those are already used up with the vSAN. So those 500 GB disks, in fact, we don't need a vSAN now. So I'm just gonna remove these 2 disks here because they're used up. They're not raw new disk. We need a raw new disk. So from ESXi1, I removed only the 2 500 GB disks, right? Or 400 GB, but I'm not touching this 200 GB because there's already a hypervisor ESXi installed there. And about that, also, I forgot to mention, remember that it is actually still 6.7. We need 7.0 here. So what we're going to do, we're going to upgrade it from 6.7 to 7.0, right? This one. But anyway, right now I need to add another disk, which is new 500 GB disk. So I'm going to click the add button, and in the background ESXi is still shut down. So I'm going to click the add button here and click the hard disk and click next. SCSI, next. Create a new virtual disk, next. And there is 500, right? So we've been adding disks before as well. I'll go for single file here. And next. And that's the outside name, so we don't need that. So finish. So there's that 500 GB extra disk added in case we're not able to connect the LUNs. Although the LUNs are connected already to the ESXi from the server 1, right? They are already connected. So we're going to check that if they're available. Otherwise, as a plan B, we're going to have a local disk just to install 7.0 and then check out all the features inside. This 500 GB disk is there, 12 GB RAM is there. So now we take screenshot number 1 here. Take screenshot number 1. Take screenshot number 1. And screenshot name is ESXi RAM changed for VCSA 7.0. ESXi 1 RAM changed for VCSA 7.0. So I'll take a screenshot. Those who are actually not able to do that, please take a screenshot of my screen. But you need to give the error, what's the error going on in yours. Then you can do that. Otherwise, you should be doing that. And so I'm just gonna go for that screenshot here, and I'll put it. Screenshot 1. Title again, yeah. So screenshot 1, and the title is CPU and RAM changed for VCSA7. The title would be actually this ESXi 01 CPU and RAM. It can be 2 if you're going for 2, or just CPU and RAM is also okay. So ESXi 1 CPU and RAM change for VCSA7. Okay, done. I'll just put that screenshot here. Oops. And I'll put the screenshot there as well. So screenshot 1 equals ESXi01 CPU and RAM changed for VCSA7. So this is very important for your job, I'll be starting that after 2 weeks, 7.0 full 7.0 base course. So pretty much everything will be basic concepts, or the major features are same. The way we're going to deploy, I'm going to explain that here as well. Okay, so that's the first screenshot here, and okay, so we're gonna go ahead. So here we're back, and I'm just gonna press OK here and power on this virtual machine, right? So I'm gonna power on that virtual machine, and then we're going to start that. So it's gonna start now. Oh, one more thing that I did not discuss here. Yeah, so there's a comment here. Edit says I chose NVMe. Does it matter? No, it's okay. You chose NVMe. This is okay as long as it works. Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, guys, one more thing. How can I forget that? Although I did kind of mention that, like kinda. Where's this come from? So yeah, so we have ESXi 01. We have a ESXi 01 which is 6.7 version. Okay, let me just make it bigger. Okay, we have ESXi 6.7, and we need to upgrade it to ESXi 7.0. Alright, so we need to do that too. Then we can deploy VCSA 7.0 from server 01 to ESXi 01 7.0 version, right? So we need to do that too. So that's an extra task. So if I go back to the diagram, we need to upgrade it to from 6.5 to 6.7. How do we do that? So first we need to handle that. So first that is done, then we go and remotely deploy the vCss 7.0 vCenter appliance here on the 6i1. So let's go ahead. Now obviously we would need that Hypervisor 7.0 file as well, and I have put that picture in WhatsApp as well. Hopefully those who are following must have downloaded that too. So it's starting, and while it is starting, it is okay, it is starting, but while it's starting, what we need to do is we need to put the ISO of the ESXi 7.0 to the virtual DVD of ESXi1. So the newer Hypervisor 7.0's ISO we need to attach to this machine, right? So I'm going to right click on this machine. It doesn't matter if it's starting, we can still do that. So I'm going to right click on ESXi1 and settings and go to the CD DVD there. So this is the CD DVD, and then we go for use ISO image file, and we need to go to that path in your laptop or desktop where you downloaded the 7.0 ISO, and the download link I gave on OneNote already. So I'm going to click that browse here, and I'm going to go to my path wherever I put my 7.0 Hypervisor. So Vmvisor installer 7.0 update 1. So that's what I have. I guess that's exactly what you have as well. So now remember, right now currently installed is 6.7. We are attaching the DVD or ISO of 7.0 Hypervisor, and then once we attach, obviously then we need to restart again, but we need to restart it in a way that this 7.0 installation starts. And when you install the 7.0 installation on top of this 6.7 older Hypervisor, so 7.0 will say, oh, you're installing me 7.0 on top of an older Hypervisor. Do you want me to?
Hi, Amir.
Yeah.
Could you please take a step back? Sorry, I lost it.
Yeah.
So I just click on browse and I add the installation.
So you need to attach the ISO of 7.0.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So CD DVD, browse, and where did you install that?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, that you have to really give the path of. So yeah, what I was saying was that. Yeah. So what I was saying was that when you start deploying 7.0 on top of the older 6.7, then it will ask, do you want me to delete the 6.7 or do you want me to upgrade 6.7? So obviously we're going to select what? We're going to select upgrade.
Come on, where's this file? Oh.
Okay. So Aris, you were able to find it?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, let's go ahead. And I have given the path of that. I've just pressed OK. Now, how do we upgrade this 6.7 to 7.0? Obviously, oh, actually 6.5, sorry. 6.5 to 7.0. So we need to actually shut down this hypervisor. And let me just show you without shutting down first. Once I shut down, I'm going to go to power. I'm going to go for this option. What does this option do? Power on to firmware. What does that mean? Firmware is your BIOS, right? So it's going to take you to the BIOS, and in BIOS you can change the boot sequence. We will change the boot sequence that, hey, do not boot. Boot means start. So do not start directly from the disk where older version is there. Start from the DVD where the newer version ISO is there, and then start installing 7.0, and then let it detect that, oh, there's a 6.5 here. Do you want me to format it, delete it, or upgrade it? We're gonna choose upgrade. So hopefully you understand what's going on here. So I have put that ISO already, but I'm gonna shut down. If it was already shut down and I have placed that ISO, that would have been better. But I'm just gonna shut down completely ESXi1 like temporarily, and then I'm gonna power it on to firmware. But make sure before that you have put the DVD there. And one more thing about the DVD, if I right click on settings here and go to settings here, so in the DVD make sure the 2 check boxes are checked. If anyone is unchecked, you won't be able to do the next step. So that is one thing. I'm sure everyone's those 2 boxes are checked. Okay, so Jaswindra says, Amir, how much RAM we are giving to ESXi1? 12 GB. Jaswindra, 12 GB. 12. Oh,
Amir,
yeah.
sorry.
No problem.
Sorry, so I shut down the ESI1, but the device state, it is not, both is not checked, just one of them is connected at power on. So,
Then check the other
you
one.
know, so how can no, it not let me to check
it. So
that.
yeah, we need to shut down the ESXi1 completely, and then we can only check it.
Okay, so right now it's shut down, but okay.
And once you shut down, so guys, I'm gonna actually share that diagram with you in WhatsApp and OneNote. So if you want to check that till now, what have we decided in terms of RAM and also, so I'll just share that current diagram in WhatsApp and also on OneNote, but you can always ask me. Okay, so yeah, ESXi1 is shut down. I just need to right click on ESXi1. Once it's fully shut down, yes, hopefully you were able to check the other parts as well after it is shut down. And I'll go to power, right? And we need to do this. Now you can see that you can click the power on to firmware, right? Okay, you can't. No, then make sure it is shut down first. Yeah, so it won't let you click unless you shut down.
So it is shut down, Amir. I shut down it, yeah, but I don't know why I cannot click on the.
You can try again now. Maybe it was, yeah, it seems like it is, yeah, it is shut down actually. You're right. Well, in that case, leave it. It's okay. But that's very strange that you can just cancel it, and even if it's shut down, cancel it and then right click again and go to settings again. And maybe it's now appeared there. It has, but that's very strange. But if it doesn't let you, then don't go ahead and go for the next steps there. But just retry. But not showing because the VM is off. Okay, cool. So there you go. Safe has mentioned that. So alright guys, so right click here, go to power and click the power on to firmware, right? So we need to go to the BIOS. We need to tell this VM to start from the ISO which is attached to the DVD. Start from the DVD. Don't start from the hard disk. Start from the DVD, right? So let's click that power on to firmware. I'm just gonna click that now. Alright, so once you see this blue screen here, this is not the blue screen of death, BSOD, which is very famous in Windows. So this is the blue screen of life. Oh, okay, so if we click on top of the screen, right? So from the mouse, click on top of the screen because it's keyboard based now, and down arrow, and then down arrow. That's the second disk. That second disk is CD-ROM, right? If you select the second disk here, that second disk is going to, this means that if you press enter here now, it will boot from the 7.0, the newer hypervisor in the CD DVD of this virtual machine, right? So make sure you just press the down arrow key, and then it's you're on CD-ROM here. And then if you're on the CD-ROM, because it shows here CD-ROM here, so if you're on the CD-ROM, then you just need to press enter, and it's going to start installation of newer hypervisor that is in the CD DVD. So I'm going to press enter now. Enter. So it is going to deploy the newer version from the CD-ROM, and that newer version will detect that there's already a older version 6.5, and it's going to ask us the options. That do you want to delete that? Do you want to upgrade it? We will choose upgrade. So hopefully everyone has started installing. Yay! So today everyone was supposed to bring virtual samosas. So let's see who brought virtual samosas. Basically you copy paste from some website and that's it. So last day we always have samosas in every course. Oh, okay. Or whichever other virtual sweets, you know. Okay, so you can see 7.0 here, right? 7.0. And what we're waiting for is that one message, hey, you want to delete it or you want to upgrade it, right? So now it's gonna ask that. Okay, so obviously we know what to do here. We're gonna click on top of the screen and press enter, and obviously accept and continue F11. In my case it's FN F11 on the keyboard. So now you can see there are two disks. Obviously we're not going to go for the second disk. We're not going to go for second disk. We're going to stick to the first disk because there's the older version of Hypervisor already there. So we're going to install this newer version on the older version. So 200 GB first disk is okay. So I'm just not going to change anything on this screen and press enter. Gathering additional information. So that's the message we were waiting for. And that do you want to upgrade? So upgrade ESXi preserve VMFS data store. Yeah, we want to preserve whatever the data store structure is. We want to preserve that, right? So in second option is install ESXi and preserve VMFS data store. What does that mean? So it's going to install the ESXi. It's not going to upgrade. It's going to install a new installation. It's going to do a new installation of ESXi. The second option says, but you know, on the side of the disk, it will keep your older data stores files there only. But it's not going to upgrade. So it will be a totally new installation if you go for the second option here, right? But the third option says install new 7.0 and simply remove the older one. So we're going to stick to the first one, which is upgrade ESXi preserve VMFS data store, and press enter on top of this. With no changes, no change on this page, and press enter. And now it says that, hey, in future, this CPU that you're working on will be not supported. So in future, try to go for newer laptop or desktop CPUs. Ouch. Okay, so I'm just going to press enter. This is actually for the servers. Older servers, you know, the companies don't want to purchase a new server. Why should they spend $2,000, $3,000 there, right? I'm just going to press enter here. And the final is F11. So Jaswinder has shared as picture. Let's check it out. Well, you can. So yeah, go for F11 upgrade, Jaswinder. Yeah, it showed it in a different way, but yes, you can click still the upgrade. Cool. Hey, that's different. That's strange. Maybe, Jaswinder, maybe you have another version of 6.5 that we had. It could be that, but it's not a big deal if it shows in a different way. So, suppose you created 5 standard switches there, suppose. So, they will be 5 showing in the newer version as well, because it's upgrading. Wow, that was fast. I'm done already. So I'm going to press enter to reboot. Well, that's one of the features of 7.0. It boots fast. Okay, there's another picture. Just when it shows, yes, go ahead and reboot. No problem. And I think majority of you are done already, or maybe it's about to be done. So once it is upgraded, we need to actually log into the DCUI mode, Direct Console User Interface, and we need to check if the name and IP is the same as the older versions 6.5's name and IP, or do we have to give it again? So it's a record in the DNS on server 1 is already given. So anyone already done with that? Okay, thank you for the reply. Oh, it's the same. Okay. So strangely, there are still a lot of jobs out there, and once the vaccination is underway, our markets will start opening, and there will be even more jobs. So before that, you should finish all the courses and certifications and be ready for the job market.
Amir, do you think the market gonna be open? When?
Like already we have jobs also, and well, whenever the vaccinations are done, like the way the vaccinations are going on, so a few months, we can say 4 or 5 months up to 6, 8, 9 months. After that, we're expecting again lots of businesses looking for experts.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Amir. I'm in the blue screen, but it's not responding to me when I click enter.
Oh, you're in the blue screen. And did you click on top of this? So click from the mouse. Click on top of the.
Yes, I lost inside. It's locked. My keyboard is controlling it, but it's not responding.
Oh, so
I put it on the EFI VMware, the second one though, the one you chose.
CD-ROM.
Yes, and I'm clicking enter. It's doing nothing. Did I restart?
Yeah. So, well, you can just then restart, because that's very strange. It's
Supposed to respond.
You restart, reach there, and then try again.
Okay.
And Olatunde says, I have a question. What does the future hold for VMware with cloud services dominating the world now? Yeah, so that's a very good question, Olatunde. And at least for next, 4 to 5 years, VMware is very critical. Why VMware is critical? Because 80% of the world's data centers or 80% of the on-premises are still VMware. So from there, we need to move the machines back and forth to the cloud. And some many big companies decide to have that local data center. Suppose this is a Toronto branch here. So they just want to have hybrid installations there. So it's going to be hybrid for long. And not everyone is enthusiastic about moving all the critical workload to cloud. You will still find many jobs there that are totally on premises and they haven't even thought about going to cloud till now even. So that's why when if the companies are not moving 100% to the cloud, so you will find VMware there for next for next 5 to 7 years we can say. So right now they really need people who are VMware experts plus cloud experts, because they will migrate the machines to the cloud. They will migrate back from the cloud to the VMware as well. And VMware has already made a lot of collaboration with all the AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, so you can easily migrate back and forth machines from there. But not every company is going totally towards cloud. So VMware is there to stay for next at least 5 years. And current jobs require a lot of VMware. If one of my students who is a cloud expert, he did all the cloud 3 or 4 certifications with Office 365, and he was asked a lot of VMware questions. And he was like, what? Then he had to come back to do VMware course. Okay, so it's mucho importante. Where were we? So I'm just going to go back here, and yes, we're done with the 7.0. I can see that yes, the name is, your first name is XI1, the name didn't change, and the IP didn't change as well, 200.3. So pretty much, obviously it's a successful upgrade. This means that the name is same, which is also in the DNS the same, and the IP is same, the static IP. So we're good actually, and we're kind of ready. So here, now the next step, right? If we have reached this and nothing has changed in terms of the configuration of, well, the name and the IP of the machine, then we're good, and we need to go for the second step. So obviously we need to still make a connection first. So I'm just going to explain that in the diagram. Oh man. Yeah. So if I go back to the diagram here, now this mess, oh actually this diagram here, we need to at least try to remotely connect from server 1 to E6i1. This is now 7.0 version, and we should check that are we able to connect to the 7.0 version remotely, because we may need to connect later as well when we are deploying the VCSA Linux-based vCenter as a virtual machine on top of this E6i1. So let's remotely connect to this E6i1 from the server 1 and check if we can actually connect or not, and we know the password. So we're going to go back here. Server 1, I'm back on server 1 here, which is 2 GB RAM. It has Active Directory DNS DHCP. So I need to open the Internet Explorer, and I have actually internet on this, and Internet Explorer is actually discontinued, but if it lets me connect to this 6i1, then I'll be good. So if I drop down, your first name is 6i1, so https think it was 1, not 01, right? I'll check out the name here. ESXi1. Okay. So your first name is XI1 and enter. Oops. I'll go for HTTP then. I'll go for remove the S and try this again. Now I should just close this internet, disable this internet here, and then try it again. There's internet there. So I'm going to go to the server manager, this one, and go to local server. This one. I need to go to the
name of the server is not correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not? Ah, yeah, you're right. Thank you. Your first name, ESXi1, HTTP console. Ah, there you go. Thank you. Okay. Oh yeah, alternative was also saying that, and save it also. Thank you both. Okay, so here, continue to this website, and then connect. So root and the password. I'll go for root and as the password. So are you able to connect? Connect. So let's go ahead and well, I can see that I have 4 virtual machines here, right? If you have 3, if you have 5, if you have 10, it doesn't matter. Xiang says need NAT. No, we don't need NAT for that. Why would we need NAT? It's a local one, so we're connecting from within LAN from one host to another. So it's just private IP to private IP. Okay, so virtual machine here. I got 4 virtual machines here right now on this hypervisor, which is okay, and it's registered to this hypervisor. So, and if I go to storage,
Sorry, and the username is root?
Yeah, it's root, ROOT.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we do not need NAT here. It's just local communication. And second thing is, so virtual machines, whatever number of virtual machines we had, okay, they're showing there, and whatever storage, if I go to storage, I do see the ones that were mapped that is coming from ESXi1, I mean like server 1, sorry. So it is coming from server 1. If I show you the diagram, all the ones that we created, because 6.5 got upgraded to 7.0, so the ones that we attached from the software SAN are still showing here, right? So that would be that's a good thing that the LANs are showing. So this means that if we try to deploy the VCSA from over the network to ESXi1, ESXi1 is going to ask, hey, which data store you want to create it on. So since we have the software SAN LANs there, then we can just use them directly instead of using a local disk based data store, right? Always best practice is to put the virtual machines on the LANs or shared storage or SAN based shared disks. But what's the size of those? So that's 400 GB, right? It shows 399, but actually it's 400 GB, which is also good. So we're good. 400 GB is the minimum that it requires, so we can use these LANs as well. So we remotely connected, virtual machines are showing, which doesn't matter. We can even delete the virtual machine. You don't need those virtual machines now. And storage, it's the LUNs are there, which are actually coming from server 1 remotely. So we're good, right? And if I go to networking, so networking actually shows a lot of VM kernel ports and port groups as well. VM kernel adapters and port groups as well. So, but our default port group is VM network. That is still there. So that's good, right? So, and it's on vSphere7. So we're good. Okay, so as far as the E6i1 itself is concerned, after the upgrade from 6.5 to 7.0, it's still okay. Everything is okay. And we can actually move ahead to the second major step, and that is to deploy the vCenter 7.0 from server 1 to E6i1. So we're ready to do this step now. Okay, so there's a picture showing there by Xiang. So this picture, Xiang, you just need to check the spellings. I will, oh, HTTPS, remove the S from there and make sure the spellings are same. Remove the just a small S from there and then try again. Okay. Oh, there are more pictures. I had same. Oh, okay. All right. So then E6i01. Yeah, 203. So you're good. Your upgrade is good. Yeah. So hopefully you're done. You're good with that. So guys, that's the next major step now. So we didn't make any changes on E6i1, right? So let's go ahead and hopefully you also saw the LUNs there attached, right? Now the next major step, what is that? The next major step is that we need to deploy. So let's first of all on server 1 or 01 or your first name server 01, let's attach the ISO of vCSA 7.0, right, to the virtual DVD. And once we go for that, then we're going to now once attached, then let's go to the DVD inside server 1 and launch the vCSA installation. So we have to be very, very careful with the vCSA installation. It's over the network. And let us go ahead. So first of all, let's attach the vCSA 7.0 to the virtual DVD of server 1. I'm going to go back here. So yes, first thing, yeah, we can attach. We can remotely connect. That's good. Now I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to go to the server 1 and right click that server 1 and go to settings. Why? Because I need to go to the DVD to attach the vCSA 7.0 or vCenter, Linux-based vCenter 7.0 to the DVD of server 1, right? So settings and CD DVD here, and make sure the two boxes are checked here, and then I click browse on server 1, and I see that there's a vCSA 7.0.1, right? vCSA 7.0.1. And that vCSA, I'm just going to double click, and so we're just simply attaching a vCSA 7.0 to the server 1, and I'm going to press O and K. Ready? Okay, so there's that server 01, we attach the DVD, and then we're just going to launch it. But it's not going to be launching by double clicking the DVD. We need to go inside the DVD itself. We need to go inside the folder structure of that DVD, and then we need to. So I'm just going to go down here to the yellow folder, and then this PC. So there's that VMware VCSA. So if you double click that DVD, it's not going to launch anything. We need to go inside the folder structure and select one file called installer. Right? So where is that file? I'm going to double click now the DVD to which I've attached the VCSA, and I see a lot of files and folders. So there is the CLI, there is a UI. What is UI? UI is user interface, right? So inside the D drive or the DVD, I'm going to double click the UI installer, not the CLI, UI installer. And once there, then there's a Linux based installer, there's a Mac based installer, and there's a Windows based installer, Win32. So obviously this is a Windows machine from which we are launching remotely the Linux based vCenter. So we're going to double click Win32, and then there is a installer, right? So there is this vCenter Server 7.0 installer, and so there's install, upgrade, migrate, restore, right? So this is our second screenshot now. This is our second screenshot, about to install vCss7. This is our second screenshot, about to install vCssa7. Our second screenshot, about to install vCssa7. So I'll take that sample screenshot now. So screenshot 2, about to install vCssa 7.0, and here also in WhatsApp, screenshot 2, about to install vCssa 7.0. So guys, if any of you who haven't updated anything on the Blackboard in terms of the labs, then if you didn't upload anything like screenshots, obviously I won't be able to give the marks if it's empty. Okay, yeah, so Naveeb says can you please show the path of installer? Yeah, so here let's go to this PC, and then the DVD. You should be seeing VMware VCSA there. Double click that. Then the UI installer, VCSA UI installer. Double click that. Then Win32. Double click that, and the installer is there. See, so simple. Okay, let me just take a screenshot of that too. You don't have to take a screenshot of this. I'll just put it there if somebody's still joining in. Oh man, where's the screenshot? Okay. And well, I could take it from here. So okay, so this and DVD, and then VCI installer, and then Win32. Wow, that was a big arrow, and I'll just put it there. Okay, let's get going, and So this is just a screenshot by me, but you don't have to have that screenshot. Let's get going. Now I'm going to double click that installer. In fact, I did that already. So now this screen is there. If everyone's there, now hopefully everyone is there. And let's get going with the install. Let's click the install button. Once we click the install, so I'll just close this left side. We don't need to see all these machines. I'm just going to close this left side here. And second thing is I need to make it full screen as well. So there is introduction here. The external platform services controller deployment has been deprecated. So platform services controller, which was PSC, which was known as PSC, that has been removed, and there's only vCenter now. So I'm going to click that learn more here. If it opens anything, okay, it does not even detect my browser. So platform services controller, which is coming on the next screen, I'm just going to explain that. But there were two portions of the vCenter deployment. There was a platform services controller, which was controlling the central services like certificates and security certificates and licenses. So that platform services controller could have been deployed separately as well in previous versions. Now 7.0, this is just one vCenter, that's it. So it also controls centrally other vCenters if you wanted to control. Before it was platform services controller, or PSC there, that was centrally controlling some of the features like licenses and security certificates. So it has been removed in 7.0. So it's just one vCenter. Okay, so we're gonna click next here. So guys, one more thing here. This is a two-stage process, right? Deploy vCenter is the first stage where we are now, and then there is the other one is set up vCenter server. So we're gonna go with the first stage, deploy vCenter server, and then second one is set up vCenter server. So good luck to all of us, including me. So I'm gonna click next now, and yes, I accept the license agreement, and click next now. Okay, what is this asking now? It is asking the ESXi host name. Obviously, we have our ESXi1 ready to grab this appliance or virtual machine over the network. So we're going to give the IP address. Actually, we can give the fully qualified domain name as well, the name of the machine and the name of the domain. But let's just go for the IP address. What is the IP address of this machine? The IP address of this machine is 192.168.200.3. That's the name. So we're just avoiding the any of those. Oh, yes. I see that name OMO here. OMO. Yes. Click continue. Excuse me. So here, yeah. So we see here the name. We're avoiding any DNS issues. Yes. Press enter. OMO here as well. No change. So just put the root and the password of the root, which is small abc shift123.shift123. So the IP of the
I'm sorry. So the password should be for ESI1.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so it's root, the username of the ESXi1 and the password of ESXi1. Once we put, so we're telling that yes, please on this hypervisor deploy. Okay, OMO, yes, no change here. Press enter. So we're just saying that hey, we want this our vCenter to be deployed on top of ESXi, and this is the IP address and the username password of ESXi hypervisor. So I'm gonna click next. And then it's saying that, oh, is this the security certificate of that ESXi01? So we say yes, this is a security certificate of ESXi01. At the start of the course, I actually showed you where to see that on ESXi1. So I'm going to press yes. And if all the communication is okay, then obviously it's going to let you see the next page. And in the next page, it's asking, hey, what is the machine name? What is the label of the machine that you want? So we'll stick to this, what we already see here, VMware vCenter server. It's okay, right? VCSA, VMware vCenter server. And the password. So just make sure that you put the long password. Actually, we just have one long password: small ABC, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123. And here also small ABC, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123. And press enter OMO on that as well. No change. Oh well, there is just one enter. Okay, so set root password, confirm root password, and click next. Now this is that page that I was showing you at the start of the class as well, and that is tiny installation, small installation, medium installation, large installation, extra large installation. So you can see that tiny installation can take 10 hosts and 100 virtual machines. That's the for a very small company. And then the small installation takes 4 vCPUs, 19 GB RAM minimum, and storage is 528 GB minimum. And then there is hosts up to 100 GB. 100 hosts can come here, and 1000 machines. Then medium installation can needs 8 vCPUs, 28 GB RAM, and then 748 GB minimum disk, and 400 hosts and 4000 virtual machines. Large, 16 vCPUs, 37 GB memory minimum, 113 and 1000 hosts and 10,000 virtual machines. And extra large, 24 vCPUs. Wow, that's big. And then 56 GB memory, 53 minimum storage, and 2000 hosts and 35,000 maximum virtual machines it can take. All right, so that is a good.
Amir, so 10 hosts, it means 10 hypervisor?
Yes.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have just 2 hypervisors here, E6i1, E6i2. That is 10 hypervisor here. Okay. Now, what we need to check there is, well, obviously we're going to stick to tiny deployment and click next. Okay, there's the data store, and we can see that the LANs or the SAN based data stores are also showing there, although it also shows vSAN based data stores as well, but we are not. vSAN requires actually 3 hosts or 3 hypervisors or 3 E6i hosts. Now we don't have that, so we're gonna stick to our SAN based shared disks. There all, and it shows here 400 GB or 399 GB. So hopefully this installation accepts that as the size. SRV1, DS2, LAN 2, or LAN 1 or LAN 0, doesn't matter, whichever you want to select. I'm going for DS2, LAN 2 here, and I also want it to be thin disk mode, right? I need to save space, so I'm going to make it thin disk mode in production environment. So thin disk is always saving space, but it is not very good in performance, while thick provision takes a lot of space, but it is much better in performance. So enable thin disk, and whatever SAN based shared disk you want to select, or LANs, you can select those. And once you select those, then click next. Now that's the final screen or screen finale, and that is, well, it's a stage 1 final screen, right? There's a stage 2 as well.
Amir, can you go back to the
This one?
The bottom of the page?
Of this page, okay.
This one, yeah, this page. You didn't check this on this existing vSphere. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so I don't need to check it. Why? Because it's asking for vSAN. vSAN requires 3 hosts. We just have 1 host right now.
Yeah.
So if we had 3 or 30 hosts maybe, or 300 hosts, yes, I would have gone for. And if we are not using SAN at all, we are using vSAN, yes, we will go for this one. but since we don't have that, so we don't have to select that. Okay, so we'll select the above one. Oh, I selected the vCenter store. Serious? Did I not select long 2? Okay, wow, that was a good point there. I mean, like, that's good that I checked back. Otherwise, my instruction would have been errored. So it's long 2 I selected. I think I did select that. Anyway, next. If I go back here just to check. Right. Okay. Yeah, it is selecting away from here, but okay, I'll select long 1. And I'll just not come back now. So next. And so now there, you know, it's a virtual machine, right? So virtual machine needs a fully qualified domain name. Virtual machine needs an IP address, a separate mask, a default gateway, and DNS. So we're going to give this newly added virtual machine, which is about to be added now. We need to give its network and configurations already. Almost says I add the Vcss7 to server 1 before installing, right? Yes. Oh, okay. So there's help. Thank you. And so guys, here FQDN. So guys, we need to give a fully qualified domain name, or it will give a IP to this machine. Now this machine does not exist yet. It's about to be deployed, right? So in that case, we're going to give this machine a name, and that is VCSA, but we are going to give it fully qualified domain name, which means what? We need to go down here to the server manager. We need to check the fully qualified domain name of all the other machines. So if I go there, okay, so I just need to know my domain name. It's my first name, humber.local. So the new name that I gave is vcsa dot whatever is the domain name here, right? So that is called fully qualified domain name, but I need to create that in DNS as well. I need to create a record for that in DNS as well, right? So let me just close that. So first of all, let me just fill out that whole form, but we're not going to click next after that, because we need to create whatever name we are about to give here in this screen. We need to create its record in DNS as well. So vcsa dot my first name, in your case your first name, humber.local. So that's the fully qualified domain name of a machine that is about to be created. And so verify that the host E6i host is not in maintenance mode. Oh, checking, you have to check that your host is in maintenance mode or not, or is it powered on or not, right? So in I think it is not out of maintenance mode yet. So okay, here IP address. So I'm gonna give, now this machine has not been created, and this IP address has to be a new IP address, because we gave a new machine, a new name to the new machine which is about to be created. So the IP address has to be a unique one which hasn't been used before, obviously. So I'm going to go for 192.168.200.25. I'm sure 25 we never used in our this small LAN. So I'm going to go for 192.168.200.25. Any unused IP, right? And then subnet mask, we already know that it's 255.255.255.0. And default gateway 192.168.200.1. DNS, same, 192.168.200.1. I'm going to put that whole configuration as a screenshot there in WhatsApp, so those who are just about to, those who are a bit behind can actually see this information of a machine as well. Guys, don't go ahead even if you have put all the addresses, because we need to create a DNS record of this name and IP. So we gave a new name, we gave a new IP. We need to create a record in DNS for this as well. Then it's gonna work. So I'll just take a screenshot from my side. You don't need to really take that screenshot. And configuration of the VCSA which is about to be installed. So you don't have to do that. I'm just putting it for others to. So configuration of the VCSA which is about to be installed. Okay. So well, I'll just go back here to the network, and so guys, we need to create a record obviously, so I'm just gonna keep this page here, and I need to go where? To the server manager. Why am I going to the server manager? To open the DNS console and add a extra A record that has this name, vcsa dot full fqdn, and this new IP. So I'm going to go to the server manager and I'm going to open a DNS console now. I click the server manager, then I go to tools, this one, and then I go down to DNS, right? So server manager, tools, DNS. So let's click that DNS. And in the DNS, where do we need to go? So this is the server name, right? I'll expand that server name now. Then I'm going to expand the forward lookup zone. So this is our domain names, the zone of our domain name. And I need to create, oh, you know what, there's already a name there. Guys, you can keep that name. I'm just gonna put it vCSA1. I already have a vCSA because I tried this before the class, that if it works or not, so it worked fine. So you can give vCSA, it's okay. I already have a vCSA. I'm gonna give vCSA1 now, right? So don't be confused about that. You wanna put 1, it's okay. You just don't wanna put 1, it's okay. So in DNS, I'm going to right click on top of the domain name here, right? Because I need to create a record. What does a record do? It helps us connect by name to that machine, right? Otherwise we have to use IP. Okay, I'm going to click the new host a record, and there I can go for 1. I can put that name which I put there. So VCSA. In my case it is 1. In your case, if it is 1 is not there, then don't put 1 there. And 192.168.200.25. Okay, so it's 192.168.200.5. Actually 200.25. Alright, so this spellings and IP should better be correct, guys. And it's not case sensitive here. It's just case sensitive here in this area, right? But it's not case sensitive up here. You can just put small VCSA here and capital VCSA there, it doesn't matter. But IP address is case sensitive, right? Make sure it is all capital case here for IP address. So if the IP address is all capital, that's must. It cannot be small case, right? Okay, so let's click add host and press OK and done. So VCSA1. So now guys, whenever you make a DNS change, go up to the server 1 here and always refresh it just a few million times. I'm gonna click refresh here just a few 100,000 times. Not only that, although it's sufficient, I will right click here on the Windows. I'll give ipconfig flush DNS, right? So I'll go to this Windows, I'll right click here, and I'm gonna open command prompt admin. Yes, sir. And then ipconfig /flush DNS. So just that, if you run, it's also okay. If you want to run register DNS, that's also okay. Otherwise, flush DNS alone is also okay to refresh all the settings or implement the new settings on this current machine. Okay, so if ipconfig/space/flushdns is done, A record is added, server has been refreshed, ipconfig/flushdns is done. Now we can go back and there's that green and yellow logo where it's waiting for us to click next, so we could go ahead. So I'm going to click that green and yellow logo, and there it is, just waiting for us. I'm just going to go down further to check if there's anything else that I need to change. Nothing else. We're good. So now we're ready with the name given here. We're ready to go ahead and click next for the first phase of the VCSA or Linux-based vCenter installation. So I'm going to click next now, and then I'm going to click finito. So it's going to start the first stage 1 of the installation, and it's going to finish. Once it's finishing, once this stage 1 is finished, then we're going to take a screenshot. Once the stage 1 is finished, then it's going to take a screenshot.
So, Amir, one question. So right now you install vCenter on the server 1?
So I installed vCenter not on server 1. I installed vCenter. I launched vCenter from server 1 onto E6i1 like Aziz. So I launched it from here to E6i1 remotely. So it's being installed actually here on E6i1, but it was just the files were opened here in server 1. The installer was opened, and the installer asked us that which hypervisor you want to install, and I just gave the IP and root password of this, right? Okay.
Amir, I created the.
Sorry again.
It's showing in the local folder. It's not like in my first name. If I put a screenshot, it's the record is not in the it's in the local folder.
Oh, you don't see the data store? You can share the
no,
screenshot.
it's about the A record.
Oh, okay.
The DNS one.
This one.
And yeah.
Oh,
no.
You did not create an A record. You created actually wrong. So right click here on this Xiang Yang Humber.local. But you know you have to delete this local here first, and delete these two, and delete this one as well. Then right click again and just go for A or AA. Only that line. I think you selected something else, so it created a wrong record here. So local and Xiang, and this one has to be deleted. Then right click again here on top of the domain, and then click A or AA.
Try again. Yeah, I think I follow that steps.
Okay, I didn't get what you said. You can type as well. Okay, so the installation is going on. And okay, so deploying the vCenter server, and installation is still going and on. Well, I think it's gonna take some time, so
Amir, sorry, can I ask you again about the question? I need to right-click my first name, humber.local, right? To create A or A record. Is that?
yes, so that would be the domain name.
new host A or 4 times A. Is that right?
Let me show you here. So you're here, and then you expand the forward lookup zone. Then you select this one, your first name, humber.local, and right click here, and you select this one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go there and just type the new name, just the name. Oh yeah, I think you type the whole domain name here. You just have to type the VCSA, but don't type the whole vcsa dot your name dot local, because it's already typed here. It's gonna automatically catch that. So just type vcsa only. Right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Got it.
And correct typing. Welcome. Okay, so Minor says coffee, please. Can we go to get a tea or coffee? Well, you have to make one for me as well. Thank you very much. Otherwise, no break. Okay, just kidding. So yes, let's take a break, guys, and come back. So break. Class starts 7. Okay, 8:10. Muting and pausing. Button. And we're ready to go to the next stage, or what? I'll check it out. What? I'm not ready to go to the next stage. That is not the good. What happened to my installation? My machine is so slow. Anyone else who has reached already? Yes. Okay, thank you for the reply. Oh, okay. So 2 have already reached. That is so good. 91%, 80%. So, guys, you're not, according to the rule, you're not supposed to go ahead of the teacher. Otherwise, you will get -10 temperature. So, those who are behind me still, they will get +10 temperature. Okay. So, Chang Ying says, how to put ESXi out of... Oh. So Chang Ying, how to put ESXi out of maintenance mode? You have to start that server 2, and then go inside the vCenter for Windows and select the right-click the ESXi and go for exit maintenance mode. So that is the only way you can try that. Well, there may be another way as well, but that's even longer than this. But if you start the server 2 and then go ahead, so and keep the ESXi1, well, you have to then change the RAM of ESXi1 back to 4 GB temporarily, and then go ahead with server 2. And then right-click the ESXi1 once you log into the Windows-based vCenter, and then right-click the ESXi1, and there's maintenance mode there, and then click the exit maintenance mode. I wish I could show it here, but I don't have a vCenter yet. Yeah, RPM. Okay, thank you. Okay, Lauren says, can we talk about deploying Horizon pending when your vCSA will be done? Oh, Horizon? Holotunde, that's a totally different subject. Hey, I actually did not deploy Horizon myself. I deployed Citrix. Citrix is the, it's a top-end virtualization, but Horizon is the alternate of that. So I have deployed Citrix. If you want to see those class videos, you can just let me know on WhatsApp, and I'll share the Citrix videos with you. But VMware Horizon, it works like Citrix, I did not deploy that, so I am not able to really explain that. Okay, cool. And with the new hypervisor, the 6.0 vCenter is not compatible anymore, right? Yes, 6.5 will be compatible, and 6.7, but not 6.0. 7.0 is backward compatible with 6.5 only until. But if you're saying 6.x, so well, you cannot migrate or upgrade from 6.0, but you can upgrade from and migrate from 6.5 up to 7, and from 6.7 up to 7. So, and backward compatibilities. Okay, I'm done as well. Yay! Okay, so here, guys, this is done. So this is your screenshot number 3. Screenshot 3 is stage vCSA7 stage 1 done. Screenshot number 3 is vCSA7 stage 1 done. And you can see that there's a URL here for that, and I'm going to explain that what it is. But let's take a screenshot here. Screenshot number 3, vCSA7 stage 1 done. Screenshot 3, vCSA7 stage 1 done. Okay, okay, screenshot 3, vCSA7 stage 1 done. And I'll just put that screenshot 3 equals vCSA7 stage 1 done in WhatsApp as well. Okay, so what is this link for? This link is HTTPS vCSA1. This link is, as it says here as well, that to proceed with the stage 2, yes, but if you exit, you can continue with the vCenter server setup at any time by logging into the vCenter server management interface. So you need to remember one thing. This is vCenter server management interface. Now, what is that? So let me just quickly explain that. vCenter server management interface. I'm just going to copy that as well, and my suggestion is to put that information in some notepad. I'll just open notepad here, and I'll put that information. What information? This information. vCenter server management interface. I'll control C this, and I'll open a notepad within this machine, which is okay. So this vCenter server management interface. Now, if I go ahead and explain that with the diagram, so vCenter server management interface is you can actually have a separate dashboard just to handle this vCenter server. So is this machine having enough RAM? Is this machine having enough bandwidth? Is this particular machine vCSA7 having network connectivity perfect? What is the vCPU speed? What is the RAM performance here? What is the storage performance here? So what is the security of this machine? Are you taking backup of this machine? So all those tasks are done in that vCenter server management interface. So this vCenter server management interface is for the management of just the VCSA virtual machine. This is a separate dashboard that was not there before in Windows-based vCenter, and in 6.5, 6.7 Linux-based vCenter, it is also there as well, and now it's in 7.0 as well. Okay, so vCenter server management interface here, and 5480. So that's the port number. If you type https://vcsa1 the FQDN plus the port number is 5480, then you will go to the dashboard that is only for the management and maintenance of only VCSA virtual machine or appliance itself, right? So that's a very good thing because you're centrally managing the whole virtualization environment from this particular VCSA virtual machine. So there's a separate IP through which you can. So we're gonna visit that IP obviously as well. But right now, once that screenshot has been taken, let's click continue because we have very less time left now. And those were not there. Obviously, you can either ask or you can follow the video as well to finish this. But we have to actually finish this in time, otherwise no one will be able to finish. So there's a stage 2 written here, and that is setup vCenter server. And it says installing the vCenter server is a 2-stage process. The first stage has been completed. Click next to proceed to the second stage, setting up the vCenter server. So that's the second stage now, and click next. And there it is asking synchronize the time with what. So we're saying that yes, synchronize the time with the E6i on top of which we are deploying you. Just synchronize your time with that E6i hypervisor. And SSH access, normally this is the command line access or secure access, secure shell access. It's okay to enable that. It's okay to enable that. So only change on this page is that we enable the SSH access. Then if we click next, so yes, IP address change warning. It's not actually going to change the IP address, so I'm just going to press OK here. Let's go ahead. And this. So do not forget the password here. The username is the same as Windows-based vCenter. It is administrator. We can give the same domain here as we gave it to the previous one, vSphere.local, right? Or you can change it to any domain name like samosa.biryani or anything else, Toyota.Mercedes, whatever. And single sign-on password. Obviously, it's our class password or whatever password you were giving. And bitcoins are like $37,000 or maybe, yeah, 1 bitcoin. So wow, whoever has bitcoin is like richy rich. Okay. And vSphere.local is this. Administrator is the password, username always the top account. And yeah, the bitcoin thing, oh yeah, single sign-on password and confirm password. And that's it. So it's a single sign-on. It's just one vCenter. If you had multiple vCenters, then you would go for join an existing SSO, but we're gonna have a single vCenter. So just the domain name vsphere.local, and the password is what we have been giving before, and click next. Ready? Okay, so join the Customer Experience Improvement Program, CEIP. We don't want to improve the software, so we're going to uncheck that. No, we want to. Okay, we'll still uncheck and click next. So this is our step finale until we see the other side. So let's click Finito here and start the stage 2 now. Ready? So let's click finish, and yeah, it says after that you won't be able to stop. Yeah. Okay, press OK. So configuration is about to start, and hopefully it goes well. And let us now discuss all the features that are there, newer features there on in vCenter 7. So I'll go to that site that I have already shared with you, and so this is just VM Arena. VMware Arena is also this guy gives very good labs, latest labs, very dedicated guy as well. So if and this is 200, so I'll go back to 100 again, and well, what are the new features, right? So that's what we need to check. And if I go to that other link that I already shared with you, so there's VMware vSphere7 released what's new. So there is vMware vSphere7, and there is Kubernetes support and integration, and then improved clustering features are there. Now Kubernetes and that containers. This is obviously for non-programmers it would be a bit new, but for programmers, they've been using containers for quite some time. And what are containers, and what is Kubernetes? So that is just so normally what you do is so you have a virtual machine here, and the virtual machine actually has an OS, and there is that application here, right? So that's just one virtual machine. So full OS has to be installed, and full application can be installed there. But containers are much lighter and portable. So containers, when you deploy a container here, so this is a VM, and this is a container, right? So when you go for container, first of all, it has some binaries, some files of the OS, very light version of OS, and it does not have the full OS there. Second thing, it is normally running on top of a container hosting software called Docker, and so you can put an app here. The example of a container would be that suppose you have two virtual machines here, or 20 virtual machines here, 12 virtual machines here, whatever, and those virtual machines are there. Now you really want two type of different software installed on one virtual machine. Suppose all the virtual machines are already busy and critical, so you want to install, suppose, AutoCAD here, and you want to install here Photoshop as well. So first you install AutoCAD, which is also a big application. Then the boss says, hey, we don't have any other machine, can you install Photoshop here as well? Photoshop is also a big software, and or Visual Studio here, or any other big software. So suppose you already have installed a big application here. When you install a second big application, it might give you an error that please delete some of the files here, and then I will install. And when you investigate, these files belong to AutoCAD. So if you delete those files, AutoCAD will be affected. If you don't delete those files, Photoshop cannot be installed. So these kind of issues can be resolved with container, because container gives an isolated environment for each application. So in one virtual machine, you can have one container. Obviously, you will have to install Docker software, and then and it can have an operating system as well, OS, right? And you can have one container with AutoCAD and another container on the same operating system with Photoshop, right? It does not have the full OS, it just has some binaries or small files of the OS, and it gives total separate environment for an application. So that's why you can have 2-3 containers there. According to the application's requirement of RAM and CPU, on one virtual machine you can have 3, 4, 5 containers. Suppose you have 1 terabyte RAM dedicated just for this virtual machine, so you can have a lot of containers there. So not only that, containers are light, and they provide separate isolated environment for each application, but they are portable as well. So you can move containers from Linux environment to AWS environment to Azure environment to Google Cloud environment to Windows environment, right? You can make it portable, you can migrate them anywhere, and all those environments will have that Docker software already installed on top of them, right? So, and Docker is universally just going to host that container. So in that case, there are other software as well, but Docker is the most famous one that hosts containers. So containers can be portable easily on any type of environment. So they're saying that now containers and Kubernetes is both supported on this vCenter 7 on large scale. Now, we understand what is containers. It's lighter machines that does not have all big full operating system files, but some of the operating system files there. And but what is then Kubernetes there? This Kubernetes name here. So suppose you have 2 containers or 3 containers. That's it, right? So you connect to one container, check the app, oh, everything is okay. You connect to the second container. When you're doing maintenance, everyday management and maintenance of the containers, it's 2-3 containers, so no big deal here, right? Suppose you actually have it's a very big company and you have 2,000 containers. Now that's a very large amount, right? Or 1,000 containers. You can't just possibly connect to each container and do some management. You need to have some kind of software, big application or orchestration software that can handle large amount of containers, that can offer you centrally the tools that can handle a large amount of containers, can deploy that, can make it redundant, can make copies of that, can recover it as well, and can move it as well. So that's why there is then Kubernetes. So the only sole purpose of Kubernetes is that if you want to manage, maintain huge amount of containers, then you use Kubernetes. So you have 2, 3, 5, 10 containers, you don't need Kubernetes then. If you have 100,000 or hundreds or thousands or thousands of containers there, then you go for Kubernetes software. Otherwise, you don't need that. So yes, in vCenter 7, you have to then separately, it supports Kubernetes, so you can deploy Kubernetes there in vCenter 7, and all those programmers who are working on containers, then they can connect to those containers there. And you want to manage all those containers on very large scale, then you go for Kubernetes. Otherwise, don't install Kubernetes if you have just few containers there, that in which one app in one container, second app in another container. And you can also have one app there and the same app is on the other container. You can offer them as redundant as well. They're just light, they start very fast because they don't have the full operating system there, just few files of that. Also, suppose you want to go for Photoshop container, of container that has Photoshop installation, or a container that has AutoCAD installation. So normally programmers build the containers. You need to have containerized Photoshop image, you need to have containerized AutoCAD image. Somebody must have already built that container with application inside and some files of the operating system inside already, and you can use that. So there is a big repository of containers, and that is on docker.com, right? So when you have also gone to AWS course, so you must have talked about containers and Dockers and containers as well, or in a Azure course you're going to be talking about that. Google Cloud course, you will be talking about that, Dockers and containers, especially containers there, because Docker is underlying software that is provided by the cloud platform. So if you go to docker.com, you can see huge amount of containerized applications, right? So SQL Server, you want a SQL Server installed on a virtual machine, or you want containerized SQL Server, so you can go for docker.com and you can check it out there, the SQL Server that is there, right? So I'll just print screen that whole information and put it on your OneNote as well. Then we go for other configurations. So what's new? We're gonna keep talking about that. What's new there? So here we go. Okay, if we go ahead with that's it. So first thing is that the latest version of vCenter 7, it supports Kubernetes, which is it can handle large amount of containers there. And the second thing is improved clustering features. So in cluster you have what features? You have DRS, you have vSphere availability, you have fault tolerance, right? And you have EVC, enhanced Vmotion compatibility. So what are some of the improvements there? It's not like in vCenter 7 you don't have DRS, you have something totally different. No, DRS is still there, so all the major features are still there. That's the only thing, is that what are the improvements there, right? So improved clustering features. So in DRS cluster, distributed resource scheduler has been improved in vSphere7. Now DRS can ensure load balancing for both VMs and containers. So again, yes, for programmers, because all AWS, Azure, Google Cloud are supporting containers and Kubernetes. So this trend has gone to on-premises as well. So DRS will also make sure that CPU and RAM is available enough for VMs as well as containers. Why container? Jiang says, why container is portable? Why? Because first of all, it is light. Now, virtual machine is also portable. It's just that when you migrate a virtual machine, it's a lot of effort you have to that is involved. Suppose you're migrating a virtual machine from there's a VM and there's a container here, right? So which both are actually portable, right? But where you find very easy way to migrate a virtual machine. So suppose it's a virtual machine of VMware. So you have and its extension for hard disk is, which has all the data, is VMDK, right? So if you're moving it to Azure cloud, so you have to change that VMDK to VHDX first, and then and hopefully all the OS and software and application is still intact when you convert it, and then you have to upload it to Azure and then connect it to some virtual machine. But in container, you don't have to convert anything. It is living on top of Docker, and that same Docker is available on Azure and AWS and Google Cloud as well. So you don't need to convert anything. You simply migrate this machine, this container. So that means that app and the files inside the container are just not changed at all, cannot be affected, because you're not converting anything to migrate it to anywhere else. Everywhere it goes, it's just intact. It's the same container here and it's same container there. But otherwise,
so you migrate container, like migrate files or migrate virtual machine. Is there any extension names for containers?
no, normally containers, well, I have to check that out myself, that what are the extensions for that. But normally it's the container file itself. I have to check that too. It's normally programmers use that. I haven't moved the containers yet. I've just created the containers in cloud. You can create containers, but yes, I have to check it out myself. That what is the extension for that containers there?
So similar to migrate a virtual machine.
They are similar, but they are totally different from that. They work like a machine, but they're much lighter than a virtual machine. So there are many big differences. Yeah.
So there is a file for the containers. You can move the file to another place, migrate files.
It's just a software. Yes, there are files. These are just files that you move, but you don't have to convert those files. But what are the extensions of the files? That I need to check myself as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. So here we talked about containers, and there is. Oh, okay. So. Yeah, so let's go ahead and yeah, the toys are being distributed. Okay, that's good. So let's just go ahead. Yeah, okay. Now, guys, are we done or are we? Whoa, it's 69%. Am I kidding me? Anyone ahead of me? Anyone done already? I don't think anyone's done.
Mine is 89.
Oh, 89. So you get -10 temperature. Okay. So. Okay, like nobody's done there, nobody's there, but whoa, NS is on 0%. Okay, you get +20 temperature in summer. Okay, because that's not possible here in winter right now. So, but whoa, that's I'm sure it's gonna. So Jaswinder is on 97%. Are you kidding me? That is again, that is -15. You just hurt my feelings now. So you're way ahead of teacher. That's not, oh, okay, just kidding. So, and Cure is also 97%. Okay. Oh, first one 97%. You're way back, right? And Steph is also 97. Okay, so that's -15 for both of you. And that's going to be coming in winter. So enjoy at that time. Okay, so 22% Jiang and Ramanjot. Hey, Ramanjot and Jiang, are you doing, did you start at the same time? How did you manage to click at the same time? It's really strange. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So that's, you get also +10, right? Temperature. Okay, so guys, we're going to come back to our features here, but that's slow, man. I mean, like, obviously it's a big vCenter. Oh, Saf is done, no way. Today is 0%. Oh, wow. Okay, so Saf, you hurt collective feelings now. So it's gonna be -20 now in winter, right? Okay. So anyway, you can take a big screenshot there. vCenter 7 done. right? But do copy that URL that is showing there, and do not click finish. Okay guys, so we were talking about some of the features until we're all done with the deployment. So there's improved cluster features. So DRS can ensure load balancing for both VMs and containers. In vSphere 6.7, the DRS checks a load of each ESXi host in a cluster. Obviously, that's what DRS has been doing till now. And what is that? That you have hypervisor, right? So we have two hypervisors here, ESXi1, ESXi2, and these ESXi1s and ESXi2 1, wow, that's so difficult. ESXi2, wow, I made it. So these two hypervisors, now DRS would want to make sure that virtual machines are placed in such a way that there is equal amount of CPU and RAM available on both, and it will try to balance that. But that was still 6.5, 6.7, 6.0, 6.5, 6.7. If one host is overloaded and another host has a lot of free resources, a recommendation to migrate a VM from the overloaded host to the host that has free computing resources is provided in the automatic or manual mode. So yes, we know that it automatically takes Vmotion virtual machine. Unlike DRS in the previous versions of vSphere, in vSphere7, the DRS isn't aimed at balancing ESXi host load, so it's not really now about balancing the hypervisors. And this is the biggest difference. So what does it do then if it's not balancing the hypervisors? The main priority of the DRS is no longer caring about ESXi host utilization, but rather the virtual machine, and the word used is happiness. Is the virtual machine comfortable or not? Is virtual machine's performance good and it stays good or not? So it's not about, so it will not care that, oh, one host has very less RAM and CPU and the other host has more RAM and CPU. It's not about that. It's not about just balancing the hosts CPU and RAM. It's about if the virtual machine is actually getting better performance. So if it means that out of 10 machines, 7 machines have to be on ESXi2 and 3 machines have to be on ESXi1, but the performance of the virtual machine on the other host where there are 7 is still good, so it will move all the machines to the ESXi2. Suppose ESXi2 has a huge amount of RAM and CPU, while ESXi1 is a bit older. So in that case, balancing the virtual machines on the two would not be making any sense, and virtual machines should be moved to wherever a virtual machine is having better performance. So that's the biggest change there that they're saying with vCenter 7, right? So this means that provisioning enough resources for a VM is the objective. Now, why is that? Because VM is the king here. VM is the king and queen. Why? Because VM has the most critical data, and that data is earning maybe a company millions of dollars per month, right? Because of that data. Hospitals would need that critical data, and that is always found in either containers or virtual machines. So virtual machine has to be happy, right? So because then you can only access data, critical data there that is running your organization. So that's the other thing that they said, that it's different from the older versions. It's more concentrated toward virtual machines. The third thing that they say is that DRS score metric is used to quantify VM happiness by evaluating execution efficiency of a virtual machine. Execution efficiency. So the way virtual machine is executing all the tasks that it is told to do, if it is executing that in normal or better speed, then that's good. And VM DRS score values range from 0% to 100%, are divided into buckets. These are not AWS buckets, but these are just ranges: 0 to 20%, 20 to 40%, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, and 80 to 100. This is a new way DRS looks at the performance of a virtual machine. The higher the score, the less resource contention for a VM. So if it is 100% here, between 80 to 100%, this means virtual machine is performing best. If it is 0 to 20%, virtual machine is performing worst. right? So that is called score metric that it's maintaining now. This is new in 7. That was not there in 6.05 and 7. So the 6.7, that is, it is in 7.0. So distributed resource scheduler in vSphere7 can calculate utilization of resources every minute. So it was normally 5 minutes that it used to do that. Now it is every minute it's going to calculate, okay, now how much RAM you need, now how much CPU you need. So in previous vSphere versions, the minimum checking interval was 5 minutes, and okay, well, I just said that. Optimization of resources has become more granular. Granular just means that it's more in-depth, that it checks the resources, what exactly the virtual machine needs, and what exactly it is getting from the host. So it goes in depth to check it out and investigate. So that is, it's there are some of the improvements there, and the logic of the DRS has changed a bit in 7.0 version of vCenter. VMware Vmotion is used to provide VM migration between ESXi hosts without interrupting VM operations. Okay, before I start and continue with that, yay, 97%, woohoo! Okay, so I'll go back and continue. So there, man, I really want to go for ice skating. Okay, so there, now between ESXi hosts without interrupting VM operation. So VMware vSphere7 Vmotion enhancements lead to consuming less resources for live VM migration and reduce stun time. What is stun time? Freezing. So when Vmotion is moving, when the machine is moving from one host to another, now that whole time, obviously the services are frozen at that time. Frozen, right? Frozen was a very famous song way back. Anyway, so yeah, Frozen. And that is, the services are frozen. And now this is really few seconds, right? Even not a second, maybe milliseconds sometimes, or just few seconds. So they're saying that the live migration is not using a lot of resources, and it's even faster than before, and its stun time or frozen time is even lesser. If it was few seconds, it's lesser few seconds now. So, and using vMotion for large VM workloads such as VMs running Oracle. Now that's a heavy application and you're moving that. So the overall migration process, or Oracle databases becomes more convenient. So it's just saying that you have bigger applications, don't worry, the vMotion process is faster. They've made it faster, right? So, then we go down memory pre-copy customizations with loose page trace install and stop based page trace install methods improve the overall migration process. Page table granularity makes page tracing more efficient. Now there is almost no performance degrading for the workloads of VMs during live migrations. So page is the most basic unit of any of the data on the memory. So that is moved faster, hence the whole data is moved faster. So they're just saying VMware Vmotion is faster in 7.0. Some of the improvements that are really amazing. Well, there's first thing is lifecycle manager is a new thing in vCenter that was not there before, but before that, updated vCenter. The whole vCenter is updated, so the maximums, those limits are already improved. So configuration maximums for vCenter 7 have been increased. So first of all, the newer vCenter can simplify management and operations with new VMware features. So what are the new features in vCenter? Now vCenter 7 cannot be installed on a Windows machine. Ouch. Okay, Windows, Microsoft Windows, bye-bye. Okay, second thing is VMware vCenter 7 can be deployed only as a virtual appliance. Okay, Linux-based vCenter, that's what we just are doing right now, based on the Photon OS, which is a Linux-based operating system maintained by VMware. So no more Windows. Second thing is there's no more Flash-based vSphere web client. Thank God. So you saw that Flash-based, whenever we restarted the Flash players again, I'm being asked that, hey, you install that again. Didn't we do that last time? So that is also bye-bye. Now we only can use HTML5 vSphere client, which you can run in your Edge, Microsoft Edge browser, and you can run in any browser, but it's faster and lighter, right? So only HTML5 client that supports all features now can be used for vCenter management. You don't need to install any additional plugins or add-ons in your web browser for using HTML5 vSphere client. No add-ons, no plugins, right? vCenter 7 can be deployed on ESXi 6.5 or 6.7 as well. It's backward compatible up till 6.5. It is not possible to deploy vCenter on 6.0. So that's just not possible. vCenter 7 can manage the following: ESXi 6.5, 6.7, 7.0. Hosts running 6.0 cannot be managed. Okay, we just talked about that already, that how it manages, or how much backward compatible it is. It's backward compatible until 6.5. And platform service controller is consolidated in vCenter. So they're saying that there's no PSC in platform service controller, which normally is used for centralized management of some services like security certificate and licenses. So that is gone in 7. Configuration maximums of vCenter 7 has been increased. vCenter 7 supports higher number of VMs and ESXi hosts than 6.7. So in a standalone mode, vCenter 7 supports up to 2500 ESXi hosts and 40,000 powered on VMs, 45,000 registered VMs. Registered would be like they're not powered off, but they're not powered on, but they are supported. Before I go ahead, I think it's done. Yay, we're done. Woohoo. Okay, guys, that's screenshot number 4. So whenever you reach there, those who are still on the way, then you need to take that screenshot. So screenshot number 4 is vCenter 7 done. Screenshot number 4 is vCenter 7 done. So I'll take that sample screenshot. Screenshot 4, vCenter 7 done. So I'll just put it there. Screenshot for vCenter server appliance, actually VCSA, is done. Oops. Okay, so once it is done, oh, okay, I need to put it there in previous tab. Okay. So here, I'll put it in WhatsApp. Screenshot for vCenter 7 done, and okay, so now this is the vCenter server getting started page. That's where we actually log in, but you can see that the link is, or the URL is exactly the same as the management URL, but it ends with the port 443, which is simply HTTPS. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in the notepad where I put this separately put that other one as well. So now what you see here is the previous URL and this URL, and you can see that this URL is ending with the port number 5480. So this URL is dedicated only for the management of vCenter virtual machine itself, while this URL is the actual vCenter entrance point, and you can just use this URL to actually go inside the vCenter, right? So this is the difference. In a quiz, it could be confusing for you that, okay, I can put that 5480 there, and I could say that it's for ESXi. So good luck with that. All right, let us go ahead. Now we get that these are the URLs here that you see, and so obviously first we need to log in from our last URL, which is we need to actually go inside the vCenter and check it out. What is how does it look like? Is it so different, or is it, you know, kind of same as we saw in Windows base? So I'm going to copy the first URL here, and well, once you've taken the screenshot here, I'm just gonna close that. Just make sure that you copied this URL and then you close that. So I'll close this and then obviously I need a browser, so I'm just gonna make this full screen, and that browser is still open. I'll go to the next tab that is available, and then I'll put that URL here, which is ending at 443, and now you can see vcsa1 dot your first name humber.local. That's it, and it says continue this website. Obviously we're going to click the continue this website, and it only shows you HTML5 as the web client, and that flash page is gone. That is good news, right? And then I'm gonna click that HTML5 here, and then that's it, and it's going to log in. So its performance totally depends on how much RAM is there in the hypervisor given to the VCSA virtual machine, the Linux-based vCenter virtual machine, right? Appliance, basically it's called Appliance. Okay, we know what to put here, the username password that we've been putting in the Windows-based vCenter. That is the same administrator at vsphere.local and the password. So administrator at vsphere.local, and the password is the same class password, and I'm gonna go for log and in, login, right? And this is a good time to panic as well. Just you know, up on top you can say, yeah, see, and inside, please work, please work, please work. So, and on the top,
Amir, this password is belong to which server?
This is the vCenter.
The oldest one or this new one?
So if you've been giving the same password like for the Windows based and now the Linux based new one, if it's the same password, yes, that's the same password you put here. If you put a new password here, then you put that password here. Well, it's trying to log in now. And it is thinking of still logging in. So it is still logging in, and one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna log in. Oh, there it is. Yay. So now it says that, hey, give me some more memory, will ya? So it's just saying memory exhaustion. So I just gave 12 GB RAM, right? So that was a minimum I had to give. So if it had like a good 32, 64 GB RAM, then it would have been happier. So all right, so I'll just try to, once we're logged in here, so that's how it looks like first of all. And you can just try to go for the same two data centers that we've created there, and then we can try to add one hypervisor there because we have just one here and we ran out of RAM actually. So but the rest is exactly the same way, but what still are the improvements there? So there's summary, there's monitor, configure, permissions, data centers, hosts and clusters, VMs, data stores, networks, linked vCenter server systems. Now this is linked vCenter server systems means, suppose you have one vCenter in Toronto and another vCenter in New York, so you want to link them together so you can see that within one console. Otherwise, you would have to install a platform subsys controller, PSC, to check the two different vCenters. They've simplified that and consolidated that PSC with the vCenter. So, well, this is just a totally new installation of vCenter 7. If we right-click directly on top of VCSA here, so you can see new data center. The way we were able to create before is the same showing here as well, right? So if I click that new data center, and just like before, if I go for NYDC, so New York data center, okay, so there's a data center full written here already. So NY-DC or data center, suppose you want to go that way, and press OK. And then I'll go right click again on this VCSA written here, and I'll go to new data center again, and then Tor dash data center. So we're giving a name and we're pressing OK. Nothing big, right? Just like before we did that for the Windows-based vCenter. And after that, each data center has those same features that we saw before. So if you right click here, so you can just go for add host. What's going on? I'm right clicking here and it's not staying there. Okay, I'll select that. I'm not deleting that. Oh, okay, some buttons are being pressed here without my authorization. So I'm just going to refresh that on the browser level. What is going on? I'm just trying to right click to just simply I hope there is no, okay, right click, there you go. So add host, new cluster, new folder, distribute switch, same way here, new virtual machine, same way, OVF template, same. Storage, you can create new data stores exactly the same way as before. Migrate VMs to another network. It was just certain migrate before, now it is migrate VMs to another network. Obviously it's another network. Move to, rename, default VM compatibility. So these, if you compare from previous videos and previous environment, pretty much the same options there as well. But we're still going to try to check out what are the others. If we go to add host here, now how many hosts do we have here? Well, if I see the diagram here, so in this in this diagram, we see that there is only one E6i101 host here, right? And this virtual machine appliance or VCSA that we deployed just now, we deployed it over the network inside this E6i. So this VCSA is living inside this ESXi hypervisor, this virtual machine here, and this hypervisor can be added as a host to be managed into this VCSA. So this vCenter can add this host, it can add that host. We have already gone through how to add a host, right? So the vCenter can be added here and here, right? So if I go try to add that, regardless of whether it gets added or if there's any issues there, I'm going to click that add host here, and so this virtual machine is actually sitting inside this hypervisor, which we are adding to this vCenter so it could manage it, right? So that's very strange. So if we go for host name or IP address, I'll go for so suppose it's hopefully the DNS is still working. I'm sure it's working. So your first name ESXi1 dot your first name humber dot local. I'll try first with a full name here. I'll check this name by going to ESXi directly here. This is the other machine, right? ESXi. So if I go there, your first name ESXi1, and we know the suffix there, or the other ending part of the domain. We already know that. So it's ESXi1 dot my first name humber dot local. I'll just try to connect. I'll click next, and it says, hey, what's the username and password? We know the username password of the ESXi hypervisor. It is root and small abc, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123, and click next. So if we have some kind of communication there, if there's no problem, then it should just simply easily be able to add it. So it says, oh, is this the SHA-1 thumbprint or the self-signed certificate here? So we say yes, this is it. That's yes. All right, so it seems like it is accepting it. It is adding it as a host. So this is the machine. It detects itself. Oh yeah, I'm living inside you, and I'm adding you to manage you. So that's what the vCenter is saying, that I'm managing you while I'm living inside you. Okay, so anyway, so I'm gonna click next. Oh, I hate this. I really hate this Explorer. I really hate this. Why am I even using this Internet Explorer? Why not Google Chrome? Oh man, it stopped working. Seriously? If I click close, it's gonna close the whole hypervisor. You know, it's not even supported now. Microsoft says, why are you using it? Okay. Well, there's no other way, is there? I'll drag it, and I know there's no other way, but I'm gonna click. Obviously, that's not gonna work. Okay. It's gonna close the whole hypervisor. Oh, I mean, not the hypervisor, the browser. Alright, this is not good. I'll just, you know what? I'll try to install the Chrome quickly. I'll go for, I have internet connection, so I'll go for download Chrome. So I don't really need to see this message. Oh, there's Edge. You know what? Let's go Edge. Now, sometimes it takes us to the Edge as well. So try now. Edge, allow. We need a new app to open this Microsoft Edge. See, it's already taking us to the Edge. So yeah, I'll just stick to what I was doing. Really? It's okay? It's okay? It's okay? Okay. Frustration. Download Chrome, download now. Help me Google Chrome better. Got it. Go, download. You're downloading. Welcome. Where is it? Okay, so I'll just go to Server Manager. Did I enhance securities off? Yeah, so I should be okay to download. And okay, I'll refresh that again. This is the refresh button for the browser. Nice, fireworks. Please try again if download does not. Okay, is there? Oh, there you go. If I click the download, then it shows the bar at the bottom. Chrome setup.exe. I'll save it first, and then I'll run it. So the Internet Explorer crashed on me, right? So I don't want that to happen again. So Arm says save, can you send Google Chrome here as before? Oh, okay. So yes, I'll go for 8 seconds, 7, 8. Okay. Okay, Chrome is installed. Yay! There it is. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna grab that URL, this one, of the web client. I'm gonna go for Chrome and Control V, paste, and press enter. And yeah, so it's, this is what we were using before, right? Your connection is not private. You go to advanced and proceed to VCSA. I'm just trying to cover as much within the given time. Administrator, we know the drill now. At vSphere.local and small abc capital C shape 123 without shape 1 to 3. Okay, we're logged in again with the HTML5 in Chrome, and in Chrome it looks better. And so these are the two data centers we created in Chrome in IE, and never use IE because it's discontinued now. And go for Edge, or better go for Chrome, and also keep an alternate of Firefox. So, or Netscape Navigator, yeah, those who know what I'm talking about. So Tor Data Center, right click here, and then we go to add host. So I'm just going to try that again to add a host. I'll give that name again, host name or IP address. I think it was your first name, ESXi1 dot your first name humber.local. Next, the username root, and the password is small abc capital ABC shape 1 2 3, and the next, and it says this is the self-signed certificate. I say yes. Yay, we're connected. Next, evaluation license, yeah, 60 days. Next, now lockdown mode, right? So this machine is actually connected to this. So for now, just to avoid some surprises, I'm just gonna keep it disabled. Otherwise, later, because we need to explore some features quickly as well within the given time. So I'll keep it disabled for now, the lockdown mode, right? So I'll keep it disabled. I'm not gonna click it normal. And click next, and click next, and click finito. So, well, ouch. Okay, add host, cannot add a host with virtual machines that have fault tolerance turned on as a standalone host. No. Okay, so there, remember we did the fault tolerance lab there. So what's the solution for that? Because it's not adding the host now, because it says that, hey, remove the fault tolerance feature from there to the machine, from the machine. So in a training environment, I'm going to actually delete the machines so I could add the host, so I could show you some more advanced features. It's a test environment. Otherwise, then it's a bit longer process to turn off the fault tolerance. Before migration, normally we turn off the fault tolerance mechanism there. So here, I'll just, what do I do now, right? So I need to remotely connect to that. So if I show you the diagram, I need to remotely connect from here to this ESXi1. There are other machines that are there, and one of them has the fault tolerance feature. We don't need those machines. Those are empty machines actually. So I need to delete those machines one by one. So whichever is having the fault tolerance will also be gone. And then, so for that, obviously I need to first remotely connect to the ESXi directly. Remove all the machines other than the vCss 0. Other than that, I'll remove all the machines. Then I'm going to come back here, because I'm remotely connected from server 1 to this vCenter, right? So I'm going to go inside again this vCenter, and then I'm going to add from here this ESXi host again. So hopefully you recognize what I'm trying to do here. Because one of the machines is having fault tolerance, I'm not able to add this ESXi1 host right now. So I need to remotely connect to ESXi1. I need to delete all these machines. other than this. Don't delete this one, otherwise the whole purpose is gone if you delete this one. Okay, so I've explained that, and I'm gonna do that now. I'll go to another tab here, and I'll try to go for http:// your first name ESXi1. I'm just directly connecting to the hypervisor, right, to get rid of other machines. Advanced, proceed to this. We know how to connect to the ESXi directly. It's root and the password. Virtual machines. So there are these machines here. These are all empty anyway. And well, first one is actually not, but I need to, because of very less time, I need to show some other things. I'm just gonna try to get rid of all these other machines, but I'm not gonna get rid of VMware vCenter server. This is the machine that we are remotely connecting inside. vCenter is living inside this virtual machine, and this virtual machine is living inside this ESXi1. The rest of the machines which I don't need, I'm deleting them all. So no more surprises. Actions, if I go to actions after selecting all of them, not all, but the ones that I want to delete, there's a delete button here in the actions, right? So delete and delete. So all the machines are gone. That's what I wanted to do. No machines there, so I will be able to add, hopefully, I'll be able to add this whole ESXi inside this vCenter. So this vCenter can manage it. So I'm back inside the vCenter here on the other tab. This is the other tab, right? I'll try to add once more. Right click, add host. I'm doing it for the third time now. Your first name. Your first name what? Your first name ESXi1 dot your first name humber dot local. Next. Root. Small ABC, capital ABC, ship 123, without ship 123. Next. Yes. Next. Next. No lockdown mode for now. Next. Next. Finish. It's showing in the recent tasks 80%. And I'll have to drag it up a little. vCenter agent on ESXi1 is being deployed. 90% completed. Yay! So it should be showing here under Tor Data Center. So you can see that it's not big difference there. You add the host the same way. I'm just gonna I was able to add the host here. Now I'm gonna go for Data Center again, and the most critical feature would be obviously the new cluster here, because that has all the advanced features and redundancy and disaster recovery features. So a new cluster here. How does it look like in 7.0? So well, it looks fancy, but same stuff there, right? So vSAN was there in 6.5 as well. vSphere HA was there, also vSphere DRS was there. It was just called vSphere availability in 6.5. It's called vSphere HA again here. A new cluster, so we can just even put the same name, new Tor cluster, that we put back in 6.5. And we're not really turning on any features for now, right now here. And manage all hosts in the cluster with a single image. So these services will have default settings. These can be changed later in the cluster quick start workflow. Well, they will have the same settings. And there is that one extra thing that is we didn't see that before, and that is manage. So managing hosts with a single image. With this option, all hosts in a cluster inherit the same image, thus removing variability between hosts. So if there are different configurations, the same image, having the same image will make sure that the configurations of every host in the cluster is consistent, is same. configuration, right? It also brings more features like hardware compatibility checking, cluster-wide remediation, and easier upgrades. Remediation is used for updates when you're doing VMware updates, right? Latest updates. Requires hosts to already be 7.0. If your hosts are 6.5, 6.7, then this feature will not work. That you will have the same image on all hosts and same configurations on all hosts, right? Replaces baselines. Once enabled, baselines cannot be used in the cluster. Okay, baselines is, you remember that when we were going for VMware update or VUM, so we first create baseline. Baseline is just a collection of updates. So they're saying that we're gonna keep the same configuration in all the hosts, so we don't need to create baselines then. Okay, so I'm not going to select that right now. I'm going to press OK to just simply create a cluster, right? So I'm just going to press OK, and the cluster gets created. And in the cluster, that's how it looks like here. vSphere DRS is the same. vSphere availability, the name is same, right? And you can just add the host. Then the key provider is showing here. VMware EVC here. VM host groups, dashboard affinity rules, VM overrides there, host options, vSAN licensing is still there, and vSAN services. So not a very big difference, but I want to, I will be referring one video as well when you are all preparing for the exam. Hopefully somebody is near the exam and maybe giving that. Otherwise, try to prepare well for the 7.0, and I'll be sending the files as well for the exams sample questions, right? Okay, so well, I've gone till here, but I need to show one more thing. Remember that I saved two links here. One link is this, but then what is this link for? This is for the management of your appliance, the VCSA, where you have the Linux-based vCenter installed. That virtual machine's maintenance and management, you can do from this link. How? I'm going to copy this link now, and this is called vCenter Server Management Interface. vCenter Server Management Interface. So I'm going to open another tab here. So I'll put this link here which is ending with the port 5480. It has to end with 5480 if you want to go to the management of this. So if we go back here, then it also says, hey, how do you want to go here? This is the management of the Linux machine itself. So you can't enter with administrator here. You have to go with root here. You're just managing a Linux machine, but this Linux machine has the most important thing, vCenter, right? It still is a Linux machine, so the super user would be root. I'll try to log in now. Okay, so this is vCenter Server Management. This is not the management of your whole environment. This is not the management of all the hypervisors and virtual machines. This is just the management of that one virtual machine. This is the management of just this guy, this virtual machine, right? Because this is the heart of everything. This has the vCenter that is controlling, managing centrally everything in this whole environment. So you want to maintain this machine? Yes, you need to. So it's only maintaining this machine. So this is the URL, right? So summary is this, and then there is overall health of this particular machine, because you're currently managing the whole environment from here, right? So overall CPU, memory, database, storage, swap file for this Linux machine. It is status is running, domain is okay. Alert, last check December 28. Overall health is, so obviously I have just basic RAM I have provided here, so it's not that good in terms of RAM. Appliance is running on low on memory. Add more memory to the machine. So that is as straightforward as it can get. Okay. Monitor, if you go to the monitor, then it goes for CPU and memory of this particular one vCenter, disks of this particular vCenter, and well, whenever it detects that, because it's already really slow, you can see that it has, we never added that many disks, 16 disks. It's just the partitions and the partition names and services that are there. So all that, and network, and the Ethernet network card, loopback adapter, and how much bandwidth is being used, right? And then there's the database. So all its information is actually saved in the database, right? So that database, how is it performing? And then there's access. So SSH login is enabled, DCLI is there, console CLI is there, but bash shell actually is disabled. So you can enable those as well. Networking of this virtual machine, particularly NIC0, what is the IP, what is the MAC address of that, and if the FTP, HTTPS, HTTP traffic is enabled or disabled. Firewall that is protecting, you want to block some kind of ports, some kind of traffic coming and going to and from this vCenter, VCSA, and then time synchronization and services. So just because this is the most important appliance of this network, so that's why there's a separate link for its management and maintenance as well. All the services that are there, some are working, some are started, some are stopped. Update. So you want to update this vCenter, so if there are latest updates, it will update as well. So that's very good for the vCenter. And administration, so password, you want to change the password for that, and it expires every 90 days. So syslog, it's all the log files will be there if there are any types of configuration that needs to be checked. And obviously the backup. So you can take a backup and take it somewhere else or put it somewhere else as well. So that would be NFS, network file system, or SMB, server message block, or Windows network, or Linux network. So, or FTP, SFTP, HTTPS. But you can see that this is just the management of the vCenter itself that you didn't see there in 6.5 Windows. Although if you land in a company that has 6.5 or 6.7 right now, not all companies have gone to 7 yet. So you might find older vCenters there. So if their Linux version is installed, they will have this server management as well. So there we talked about backup, and if I go back to the article, because we need to still talk about some of the features there that obviously you're preparing the exam for. So updated vCenter, yes, vCenter has more capacity there, and there is lifecycle manager. This we never heard of before. This is only in 7.0 introduced. What is it anyway? So in vSphere7, excuse me, VMware Update Manager has been deprecated. So you don't have a VM now. You have vSphere Lifecycle Manager, VLCM, is provided as part of vCenter for doing what? Managing lifecycle operations and configuration management in vSphere, such as installing updates, installing patches, upgrades, and applying ESXi host profiles. So all the configurations that you want to apply, suppose there's one basic configuration there that you want to apply. Suppose ESXi 1 is configured perfectly. You want all ESXi's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 100, up to ESXi 100. You need to implement that. So you can do it from host profiles. So the thing is that what VM was doing is being done by, or VMware Update Manager was doing is done by Lifecycle Manager now, right? And I have added that host there. If I go back to this host here, door cluster, and I click the host, so there's updates written here as well on the host level, because I added that host, right? So this is updates written here. So when we installed VM only, then the updates would appear there. Then you can just go for updates on that level. So if I right click on the host itself, there is host profiles showing there, maintenance mode. By the way, Qingyang, this is the maintenance mode, and you can just click the exit maintenance. But this is still from the, from that within the vCenter. So what I was talking about is there's that updates written here as well, but that is called now Lifecycle Manager. So Lifecycle Manager is what? VMware Update Manager is now Lifecycle Manager. So if you hear this term in the exam, you will know that exactly what are we talking about. ESXi compatibility. So a virtual watchdog. So the latest version of guest operating systems are supported now in vSphere7, including vSphere 20, Windows Server 2019, Ubuntu 19. So it's just supporting all the guest operating system. The latest versions of the Linux and Windows, all operating system it is supporting. Red Hat, Enterprise, Linux 8. Virtual machines that have hardware version 4 and later can run vCSS 7 as well. So hardware versions are also, the hardware version is 17 here for the 7. Hardware version is what? The virtual hardware of virtual machine version. Like how much VCP you have, how much RAM you have. So there's a virtual watchdog timer. It just checks that if the applications have crashed and or not responding, then it creates an alert. Precision time control (PTP) provides a higher time accuracy and precision clock device for VM. So it's synchronization of clock. There's another service shown here, which is PPTP. Oh, PPTP, that's a protocol, point-to-point turning protocol, right? This PTP only, right? Okay, and unlike vSphere 6.7, processor generations are not supported in vSphere 7. The following processor generations. Remember, we were talking about processor generations there. Vmware, EP and EX are not supported in 7.0. So some of the Intel processor generations are not supported now. High security levels, multi-factor authentication is now supported in 7.0, and you must have configured that in AWS, multi-factor authentication, right? So not only that you have to put a username password, but you have to put a 6-digit that comes in your cell phone or some other device other than your laptop or desktop. So, and then there is trust, vSphere Trust Authority. VTA is new technology that creates its own management cluster. It works separately from other clusters and serve as the hardware root of trust. So this is like key management services, so it can save all the trusted keys there, which are used for encryption and decryption of virtual machine. VM template versioning and content library is the same. You can support versioning of files and virtual machines as well. What has updated, what is not. I'm going for most critical features there. There are some minor changes there as well. Updated vSAN, so it also supports version 3 and 4.1. And other than the big news is the Kubernetes that is supported by vSAN. Other than that, there are minor updates there as well. No VNC server, you cannot connect through remote server, which maybe you've heard about, that you can connect from VNC client and VNC server. That is not supported in 7 anymore. You cannot remotely connect to the machines through VNC. Licensing and additions, so you have vSphere 7 Standard and Enterprise Plus. These are the two that are introduced in 7. So that is vSphere 7 Standard and vSphere 7 Enterprise Plus. There is that username password here, unable to save host name. Oops. So vCenter server setup has been completed successfully. Oh, that's another. So, well, I think you have to follow the video. That's a longer step that you're stuck in. Unable to save the host name. So the DNS, remember that DNS was a problem. Okay, so let me just try to finish because we have very less time here. So there are two versions only, Standard and Enterprise. In Standard, yeah, maybe the name is too long. Okay, you can make it very short name. Good point. Okay, Standard version does not support Kubernetes, and the Enterprise version supports the Kubernetes. That's the big topic there, the containers and Kubernetes, right? And then they have other editions as well, and that is vCenter server for Essentials, Foundation, and Standard, which we already talked about. But Essentials can manage only 3 hosts. Foundation can manage only 4 hosts. Wow, 3 and 4, seriously. So this vSphere7 link would really be very helpful for you. I've already put that link there in OneNote. So obviously in this Wednesday's quiz on Wednesday, right? Hopefully you don't forget that. So you don't. Some of the things from here will also come. So that is that these are all the main features or newly added features there. If I go back to this, this is hypervisor that is showing there, and I'm gonna try to right click and move it inside the Tor cluster. So there is move to here, and then Tor data center, and then Tor cluster. I'm going to select the Tor cluster and press O and K, and it says right away the vSAN host cannot be moved to the destination cluster. Destination cluster Tor cluster is vSAN disabled. So guys, that is a permanent issue here. What it just said now is that, remember that we upgraded this from 6.5 to 7.0. We did not install a new 7.0. So this upgraded version had vSAN configured here. If vSAN is there, then it's not gonna let you get added this to the new cluster. New cluster has its own newer version of vSAN. So when we are upgrading, we should have disabled vSAN completely to update it to newer version, and then install the new version of vSAN as well. So then it would add there. So right now the error that is showing here, that the vSAN host it's showing here, it is right now it's not supporting that. So that's why I'm unable to add it to the cluster. But when I go to the cluster here, the main thing to see is the configure area. That's where everything is. And vSphere DRS. I'm going to go for DRS here, right? And click the edit button. So is there any difference in DRS? Well, it looks different, yes. So if I enable that DRS here, and then there is migration threshold here, there is automation level, fully automated. Remember that we had fully automated, partially automated, and manual. Migration threshold is there as well, aggressive mode, conservative mode, and you can still go for fully aggressive mode. And DRS provides recommendations when workloads are even slightly imbalanced, and marginal improvement may be realized. For dynamic workloads, this may generate frequent Vmotion recommendations. So predictive DRS, we have all those same features. Additional options are there: VM distribution, CPU overcommitment, all those same features are there, which we talked. Power management is there. It just shows it differently. Features are exactly the same, right? If I cancel that and we go for vSphere availability here, and I'm going to click edit. So it looks different, but are the features different as well? So it also says that, oh yeah, I should have enabled that DRS for the vSphere availability to be turned on. So I'll just enable the DRS here, and okay. Okay. Okay, so here, yeah, kids. So vSphere availability, I'll just go there and edit that, and then I can start this one as well. So you can compare from the 6.5 as well. Yeah, so failures and responses, host failure response, response for host isolation, exactly the same. VM monitoring, admission control, exactly the same. Heartbeat data stores. So when you compare, I'm just seeing that because I've been doing that 6.0, 6.5, 6.7. So it's pretty much the way they are showing is different. It looks fancier, but exactly the same features. No major feature is gone, no major feature is added, no new major feature is added. It just looks exactly the same, right? So if I press OK here as well, and HA is turned on, but proactive HA is still off. So that there's a separate edit button there for that. And since DRS is on, you can enable proactive HA as well. So that is also pretty much exactly the same. Automation level and remediation and providers. So who are the providers for the failure conditions? So when you compare with previous videos, you will see the same exact features there that we were having before. EVC, if I go for VMware EVC, enhanced Vmotion compatibility, I'll click edit here and disable EVC or AMD host. So what processors it is going for? There is generation 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is enable EVC, Intel MIROM generation. Remember that we tried to go for that. Now there are some newer generations as well. Skylake generation, that was not there before. Cascade Lake generation, maybe it was there, but I don't remember. All others were there, and this one, Skylake and Cascade, are the new Intel processors now. So compatibility, oh, MIROM, it just succeeded for my processors. Okay. Or maybe it's succeeding with everyone. If I go for Broadwell. Oh, it succeeded with that too. Serious. Oh, okay. But it's Intel host. Very slight changes. Newer Intel processors are added now. Otherwise, everything else is the same. Okay, cancel. So we've talked about features. We have gone inside. We've gone to the Tor cluster as well. But how the full lab of 7 works, right? Because this is not vCenter based, right? So we have been working on 4 machines. 1 was Windows, 2 were Linux based, or the hypervisors. But now the machine is here. So how does the actual lab really works? I'm just gonna try to explain that to DNS DHCP here. Then what we can do is, or what I will be doing after 2 weeks when I start that 7.0 based course, that I will be creating, that's a DNS DHCP here, right? And this would all be ESXi 01, 02, and 03, right? So, and this would have, obviously we would be connecting the disks or the SAN here, or LANs, and they will be connecting to all 3 instead of all 2. We connected it to 2, so each LAN would be connected to each hypervisor, and the virtual machine, the VCSA, will be deployed on the first one, while the other 2 will be, we're going to test them with advanced features. We're going to crash one, right, or fault tolerance, right? So the lab becomes like this then. When you go for VCSA labs, you have to have 3 hypervisors, and the first one is just they're doing only hosting that, this VCSA. Other 2 will be where we can do all the testing of all the roles. So if you remind me, hopefully I remember that, I'll try to add you all to that new 7.0 course launching after 2 weeks in another college. So I'll try to add you to those videos so you could see how the new lab is going on and how the same exact features are implemented in 7.0. Suppose you land in a company, in a job where they actually have 7.0, they want you to upgrade, or they actually have it. So in that case, you will have to deal with the 7.0 in this way. Well, there's one more feature, and that is native high availability. Native high availability. That is for VCSA availability. So what is native high availability? So you want the VCSA to be highly available? Yes, obviously. So in that case, what happens is you need minimum 3 hosts or hypervisors, and there would be 3 VCSAs you have to deploy. So you can imagine how much RAM is required, right, for the whole environment. Like we can hardly install one VCSA, right? You need 3 VCSA for what? Native high availability. What is that? So if you go for VCSA1, this will be active VCSA, active, right? So there will be another machine that will be created, and that is the passive or standby VCSA, right? Passive standby VCSA, and then there will be a witness VCSA. Oh, what is that? So witness VCSA makes sure that the this active VCSA and passive VCSA, they are being active is updating the passive VCSA or standby VCSA, right? So witness keeps an eye on both of these, right? So if active VCSA goes down, then witness tells the passive VCSA, hey, you're up now, you're active now, because the actual active is gone and you're now the new active, so please wake up. So this fails over like in seconds, but witness's job is to make sure that it keeps an eye on the both. Suppose the witness is down and VCSA active also goes down, then there is no way passive or standby VCSA will know that active is down, and it will stay passive or standby. So witness has to be up all the time to keep an eye, and it has to be deployed in a third hypervisor, while the other two are the heavyweights, the VCSA that we deployed just now, another VCSA. So this is native high availability. That how would you make this highly available? You would create its copy on the other hypervisor, and you would create another copy which is just a witness copy of that, and the active one simply updates the passive one. And this is like fault tolerance, right? But the witness is an extra thing that was not there in fault tolerance that we configured. So this means that you must have good RAM if you want to offer native high availability to the Linux-based vCenter. This is the way you can make it highly available, right? Okay, so these are the things that we wanted to discuss there. We deployed the whole new 7.0. We tried to check what is new, and we tried to check all the new options there as well. And see you on the quiz. Actually, it's going to be automated, so this means it's goodbye now, and hopefully we meet again in some other future course. There will be so many cloud courses I'll be launching, and I'll be keeping you updated there. And any kind of services you need, any kind of help you need to pass the exams material, let me know. And I wish you good luck with your future endeavors. And if there are any questions, let me know now. And this is pretty much kind of it. So be ready for the Wednesday 8 to 9, right? 8 to 9 p.m. lab. So, alright guys, this is it. If there are any questions, otherwise see you on Wednesday 8 to 9. It's actually going to be just, you need to give the exam, and then hopefully everyone has uploaded all the documents, and so this is it from my side, and I'll just try to make available the Blackboard so you can upload that. Yay! So I'll just try to log in. So please upload today's document. What's going on? Deck. Permit users. So guys, are you able to see the week 15? Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. Assignment. Okay.
Can you please tell me how to enable the network? So I want to download the Google Chrome from there, but on my internet, we don't have internet in my server one. So you need to enable the internet on
You
server
can add
one.
the second network card with NAT.
Second network.
So guys, I'll be doing some marks adjustments there as well. So you might see some, marks going upside down. And so don't worry about that. The marks adjustments just to give. And please do upload your documents. If it's empty, I cannot mark that, right? So okay guys, go ahead and upload, and see you in some other course hopefully, or in future if you need help. I'm on WhatsApp, you can communicate. Yeah, you got my email, you got my WhatsApp, and try to join all the other courses and get ready and do all the certifications. Yay. Okay, so the questions, Sylvester. So hello prof, can you please send the account info to transfer money for dumps? Oh, okay. So this is ititguyme@gmail.com. So that is